So we made it. It's where the roads led to. It's episode 100. This is 2 cents. It's the end of it. It's July 18th, 2017.
Tell me if you can guess what this sound is.
Definitely alcohol.
No. It's a Monster can. You want to know why that's significant?
You're that tired?
For about the first 12 episodes or so, I think, I was pounding these pretty hard for this show.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So just for this one, that's
back
what
when
I'm
you
going
were
with tonight.
actually in California, too.
Yeah. A lot has changed since then.
A lot has changed.
This is probably my first Monster in, I want to say, maybe 9 months or so. Okay, first full can in about a while. In about 9 months, I had it like as a Jaeger bomb, but bottoms up.
This is the Live Undoctored news show we do here at Dollar Reviews, or did here at Dollar Reviews, rather, where we covered technology, television, movies, streaming, virtual reality, video games, anything that happens. We did politics for a stint there. As I said, it's June 18th, 2017. It just so happens to be Father's Day, and we're having a send-off to our baby on its second birthday, which is pretty impressive. I'm Brian Gillis. You can find me on Twitter now, Brian Gillis, BryonGillis. You can email me, brian@dollarreviews.net. Or you can just reach out to us directly through our Twitter feed, @dollarreviews. I'm not here alone, just heard his voice. I'm here with Stephen Mominex.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
Yeah.
I
am footnoting you for that,
right
by the way, because you said it literally seconds ago, and I was like, no, that's the one I'm doing.
I'm looking at him right here. I got this very adorable Groot sitting on my desk. I got a couple little... I got so many knickknacks on my desk now. When we started the show, I had fucking nothing. I had, maybe a Mr. Potato Head, and now there's, a shrine of pop culture shit that I wish I could say this show paid for. And maybe nowadays it kind of does, since we do have funders. We don't do this for free anymore. We've come a long way, but I don't know if that's actually this show. That could be any of the shows we do. Did you celebrate the end of the show? Did you do some kind of big thing? I know you were out earlier. Have you been telling people that you're no longer locked up on Sunday nights? What are you doing next? Where are you going to go from here?
We got to see what we're going to do, but I've been working like crazy all week. It's just been that kind of week. At least 7 days straight, I think, from Monday to Sunday this week. 7 days straight completely. I can't remember if I worked the night before last Monday or not, but I've been at it the whole time. And
you know what I've been at, because I'm no stranger to telling you things.
We talk. It's good. we talk from time to time about things we do. That's what we do. And sometimes we put those conversations up online, and it's good.
And this one will be. I found myself in a romance again. A real one, not like a bullshit one.
So now it's defined officially as a romance?
Yeah, it's a relationship. It's a real thing. We can start if you want a rough timeline, because I'm sure she's going to be on the show at some point. She's on her way here. She's probably going to walk in the middle of this show.
You still got your old mic, right?
Yeah. I met her on Tinder, which is par for the course for this show. It's technology is the main thing. This cavalcade of news from a millennial standpoint, basically. And I meet her on the most prolific dating site for our generation. But it's not that. It's kind of surpassed that to the point where that first night that I met her, against my better judgment, I showed her before sunrise. It was not my choice. I wanted to do 2 weeks notice. I wanted to do something else. I was like, no, okay, fuck it. Yeah, you haven't deserved it yet, but yeah, we'll watch this one, whatever. And maybe I lucked out. She the next day took me to see Captain Underpants in 3D, which was awesome. But then this weekend we went to go see RoboCop in 35mm at the New Beverly. It's
How was that line?
Not too bad. We
it's
got
you
there
got there and you don't really care, right?
No, didn't care. The line was actually fun. We ran into this guy right in front of us called Malachi. Had a great conversation with him. I gave him my business card. He, of course, got it right away because he, too, was waiting to see RoboCop. Coincidentally enough, he actually sat next to us in the theater. We didn't sit down together. He already had a jacket down because we had concessions, and we ended up sitting. It was too much. I hope I run into him again. I hope he's listening. I hope he contacts me. Like I said, he does have my card. But yeah, I've done a lot this week. I applied for a job related to this show, Upload VR is looking for a news editor. Hopefully I get some kind of response. What better way to go, oh yeah, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You can listen to like 10,000 minutes of content.
Got 2 years worth.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, I don't even know where to start with on the math of this. I mean, if they all average around what, let's say 2 hours, and there's 100 of these, that's
my math
200 hours on average.
I would say
right?
like it's 90 minutes an episode roughly. But we can round up to 100, and if there's 100 episodes, then yeah, it's like I said, it's like 10,000 plus minutes, which is a lot of life. It's crazy.
I'm just surprised that your computer is still living after all this time. From the beginning, you were just like, this thing is going to die any second, and it's still kicking.
Don't jinx it. That's going to be for sure one of the things that I do when I no longer have to do this. Like, Ashley, that's her name. She's more in tune with computers, and maybe I'll fix my desktop, or heaven forbid, actually buy a desktop, so I don't have to use this MacBook anymore. I can use it for other things. Like, yeah, maybe I will build one, and perhaps I'll just, with this free time, write my screenplay. Maybe write a new screenplay. I definitely want to get back into fitness.
For that screenplay, just do what I do. Spend a minimum of an hour a day. Like, just set a timer and race it.
I'm bad at that kind of thing.
It's really, like, you get a lot done, and it only takes an hour of your day. Best to get it done right away, and then you feel satisfied the whole day.
The reason I stopped writing the screenplay is because I needed a muse. Where I was at page 50. The couple finally, it's a rom-com, the couple finally had their first date. I didn't know where to take that. She and I just kind of had our first date.
I'm transcribing, or like I'm putting together a vomit draft, and I'm looking through my notes, and hopefully I'll be done with it by the middle of next month. I'm at page 123, and it's supposed to be like 30 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, you're fucked.
That's really how, like, my vomit drafts are so fucking unbearably long because it's like they're just way too detailed. It's like, at least I got this stuff there for a first draft that I can whittle down and then easily present a second draft. But
it kind of sucks. We were able to get Tyler on the show a couple of weeks back. I wanted to record Greg last week to do like a little like Vox Pop thing, but he left the party I was at. I reached out to Hamid, and since he was on our very first episode, it wasn't even called 2 Cents yet. Or, I mean, yes, it was, but not
also
really.
Also, the only episode where we recorded in a room.
In person.
Face to face, yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, hey, we're on episode 100, it's our last one. Would you want to get on? He's like, I don't know. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to push the issue then. If you don't want to be on a podcast, that's okay. I don't want to be on it either. That's why we're killing it,
Well, I'm drinking a Monster. I'm having a party here.
But we've chronicled so many things in these 2 years that it might not seem like much has happened, but I was writing this stuff down for the past week, and it's kind of crazy, and this is an incomplete list. It's not ad nauseum. The evolution of TV and movies via streaming services. Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, obviously, but Twitch, Filmstruck. There are so many now. There's... When you couple that with the evolution of the cord cutter generation, over the top as it's known, Sling, PlayStation Vue, DirecTV, now YouTube TV, Hulu with Live TV, not a single one of those existed when we started this show. And now they have millions of subscribers apiece, especially at DirecTV now. Just the increasingly interconnected world that we live in now through vertical integration, and really, DirecTV now being one of those, that there's an AT&T Time Warner merger happening, Wanda merging with AMC, the way Comcast is, Sony, just the Internet of Things. Like, smart devices are, you see them every day now, and 2 years ago it wasn't a thing. Like, when I was watching RoboCop during the intermission, I saw this guy in front of us, and he had his Nest app on his iPhone, and he was watching like the lobby of his store or something live.
Jeez.
He could switch to a different camera feed. There was a hallway, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Like, of course I've seen Nest cameras.
But still, like,
this was the first time that I actually seen someone like perving on it, like actually surveying whatever equipment he had. And I was like, wow, like, that's where we are now. I'm sure this guy had a smartwatch. He definitely had a smartphone. If he had a Nest, he probably had, like an Amazon Echo or a Google Home, some kind of a dedicated speaker, some kind of digital servant. And we're going to be talking about the next step of that in a minute here. But some of the other crazy things, probably the big one, especially with the upload application that I just mentioned, just the advent and rise of virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, via launches of Google Cardboard, Oculus Rift, Steam VR, also known as HTC Vive, PlayStation Virtual Reality, IMAX VR, Pokemon Go, and my impressions along the way, having done them in short supply, like experiencing VR for porn for the first time, getting to share that with people. Definitely, obviously, PlayStation VR, and just like 10 episodes ago that I did a horror stream on Twitch because we got our first Patreon backer. I just beat Farpoint this week. Like virtual reality is a huge industry now. Like Sony alone has sold over 1 million headsets. They only have 50 million PS4s in the wild. That's 1 in 50 people roughly bought VR on their platform. That's absurd. Like we are at a point now where it is no longer future technology. It is current technology that has not been embraced. Like the rest of the things on this list.
Well, and then again, a year from now, where do you think that's going to be? I mean, there's still, it's out there. The tech is out there for people to get, but there still has not been that one major phenomenon that has made people go, I want to get that now. And it's still building up to that. But yeah, I mean,
I don't
in the past
think
2
that's
years,
gonna.
that's crazy.
I don't think that's even gonna happen though. I think it's more gonna be. I read this interview that Doug Lyman was doing for his short called Invisible, and he's talking about the same kind of things that that Inarutu was talking about, or even Jon Favreau, where
Like they don't know what it
people are
is.
still
They're just
trying
playing with it.
yeah, like they're still trying to figure out what virtual reality is. A lot of people believe, it's movies that you're part of. No, it's like far different than that. Like at E3,
I
I'll be
still
talking
think
about this
gaming
later.
is the best thing about it. Like
Wait,
that's
right
to me, that's where it
now,
will be perfect.
it's the easiest because you
It
can
is, but yeah,
enter
it
a realm
seems
and
so well
actually
suited for
interact.
that.
But like they were showing games off at E3 this year where you have like the ability to have like full conversations a la Siri in game type of thing. Where like a year from now, really, it's gonna be very, very different. By then, Microsoft's gonna have their headsets. There's gonna be standalone ones, probably by Facebook and by PlayStation, perhaps, where you're not gonna be tethered. They already have wireless technologies. You can already use your mobile device if you have like Gear VR anywhere in the world and do anything and pretend like you're in something instead of where you are. Like it's escapism in its most ultimate form, and I think that's why people have not embraced it yet. It is still, there is an uncanny valley. It is scary, but I think it's a good scary that it's going to change the world for the better. Like I think it could just, if you were to be inside some kind of documented experience like Carne and Arena, which I need to see eventually, and you've actually experienced the immigration process of border crossing, that you will become more humane, that you will see it literally from another set of eyes, and it is your reality virtually, that it's just going to become, it's the new thing. It's the reason why I've been so enamored over these 2 years, and even before that, when I got a Virtual Boy in 1995 or whatever that was, up until now, and in the future, and I know I've said this to you before, both on and off air, it is the medium of our lifetime. The internet is a little bit before us. It existed. But
I'm
this is
still
a first.
hesitant
This is
on that.
newspaper. This is movies. This is TV. This is radio. This is its own thing.
Like
And
I could totally see it as a communication tool, but like I don't know, especially like I really am curious, for to talk about the border crossing. Like I'm not so sure. Like if it really depends on how the person reacts to that, if it's going to influence their
Oh,
just
of
their
course.
future line of thinking.
But
And I wonder, like just for purposes of entertainment, if it should be that influential, or just how much it would really fuck with your perception of reality, which is definitely.
That's
I know that's something you've.
I have
you've,
experience.
You've had
Yeah.
that freak out period. I'm still, I don't know. I'm still like very much aware of what it is, or maybe I sort of approach it cynically, where it's like I have to maintain an awareness. There's not been anything that has fully lost me into it yet, or maybe I'm just not as connected yet. Maybe that won't happen yet, but. Just
Farpoint's close.
as a media tool, I think it's cool. I don't know if it's gonna be the definitive one.
I don't think it
But
will
I'm
either,
I'm
just
not
because
sure
you have
yet. We'll
to
see.
shut off the rest of the world. But in terms of interpersonal communication, I think it's going to be the go-to. In a couple of years from now, you're not going to Skype anymore.
Well,
You're
it's
going to
like
be in
it's
a
the
digital
telephone, you
area.
know. It'll like
Exactly.
the telephone, like as in the corded one that you had at home
Well,
that you
even
kept there. But
Skype,
like,
what
I'm
we're
not.
doing right now to record this show is no different than what Alexander Graham Bell invented,
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely. But it's
150
like
years ago. It's the
what I'm
same
trying to say
thing.
is like I'm not so sure like it's going to be something that people are going to use out in public. You know, it'll be that thing that you have in your home, even if you got wireless ones coming out. We'll see, but
I just don't, given
a
how
lot has
kind
happened this
of
fast.
scary FaceTiming is, or even Skyping with a camera, where it doesn't seem like you're actually there with someone. You just have a better understanding of who they are. But when you talk to someone in a virtual reality environment, you do truly feel like you're there with them. Even if it's not a photorealistic representation of who they are, despite there being technologies to allow that now,
Well, then also just how's the audio quality when you can hear
just
their
like
voice?
this. Just like this. It's
Yeah,
the
see,
internet.
like just like this is I can
Voice over
still
IP
tell like
isn't hard.
yeah, it's still not the same as like a voice
Well,
from
that's also
person to
because
person.
you can tell you're looking in front of you. You see your computer in your room. You know you're alone. You just hear a voice and you picture that you're not isolated.
Actually, I have a blindfold over my eyes right now. No,
Okay.
for real, like that. I do that like
That's
actually
smart.
quite often. I've
Well,
done
I
that
have to
actually
read
for quite a long
notes,
time.
okay? So that's impossible. I'm not gonna memorize this shit. We wouldn't have done 100 episodes. We would have done 10 if I had to memorize it. But moving down the line of other things that we chronicled, the impending death of the widespread theater going experience. How Netflix and Amazon, the screening room, virtual reality have played a role in there. Rude patrons, which is something that's come up many times on all of our shows. Well, maybe not Death to Cinema. And I think that it's just outside of the revivalist theaters like the New Beverly or the Paramount or the special places like the ArcLight or the Alamo Drafthouse, that things such as AMC Theaters and Regal, that they're just going to fold in the way that there are already too many of them. There should
I have
not be
terrible
like 5
experiences
per
when I go to
city.
those, honestly, like
Yeah, I
yeah.
think
Now
most
it's like
people do.
Regal. Honestly, like I'm done. AMC. You know, I like that their early AM shows are like cheap, you know, but I only went to one this year, and that went by fine because I was not by any people.
When
But
you have a device in your pocket that can not only record 4K, but also play it back, and on top of that, just wirelessly watch movies and TV on too many platforms to name, including even live TV or live broadcasts like on Twitch or Facebook. When you have that kind of technology in your pocket, seeing it on a movie theater screen no longer matters. And
well,
you
then,
don't.
and do you realize
Most
how many
people don't care.
multiplexes don't even have 4K projectors yet?
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, most that
that's
I go
insane.
to
Like,
do, but
like the ones that I go to that I like do,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's like a bunch that don't, and then for those that do with those change, they charge extra, like it's a
Like-
you know, convenience fee. Like I don't even know why.
Movie
It's like
theaters-
big chains are the way that they do things kind of kill the business.
I
to
think
me.
theaters are going to get to a point where it's no longer a choice. You're going to have to watch it in IMAX or 3D or D-Box or 4D or whatever the fuck other
It's
technology
like
they
every
have.
phenomenon, like every big movie is kind of treated like that, even if it's like
Mm-hmm.
big or not. I mean, 50 Shades of Grey got a fucking IMAX release.
That's just silly.
Really? Yeah, but it happened.
Hmm.
It's not a joke.
Like it's gonna get to the point now where not only to displace the rude patrons who are just gonna watch it at home now or pirate it some way, but also to make it more of a spectacle, a reason to go out again, to make it a special event. Because now it's just like, oh, you want to go? It's like $5, $10, whatever it is where you are. It's not that big of an expenditure, you know. It's not a night out. It is not special. There's not someone walking through the theater with with snacks asking if you want them. They're not pumping popcorn through the vents to make you buy the concessions. You don't have someone like
I
William
got
Castle with like
servers that
shocking
run
your
up to me
chairs.
and ask me if I want to buy any food or a beer or you know things like that. I'm lucky that way.
But I mean,
Sorry
like
to rub it in.
literally the cigarette cart lady, you know?
Yeah, like at
like
a baseball
something
game
like
or
that.
something. Yeah.
Well, at the theaters, like they used to have those people walking the aisles. Oh yeah, I'll take one of those. Let me get one of those.
Oh, yeah,
like,
that's true.
like the experience in Cinema Paradiso that film would not translate to the average film goer nowadays
You need to
because
see
that
Heroes of Your Life, by the way. That's another good example. I told you that, right?
maybe
Yeah.
just it wouldn't connect because there isn't that sense of passion. It's dying, and the internet is causing that death, and so is the advancement of technology.
Well,
And
it's
the
just
further
short attention spans and having access to like so many things, that we just
it's not special. Home
we try to consume almost everything. It's like just that term binge watching. Like people have like this. I have to digest everything now, and they want to keep going. It's like they don't know when to stop or to hit
when they
pause.
allowed you to take the movies home, they killed the theater. They just didn't know it yet. When they got greedy with the blockbusters and wanted you to buy even more of them with the T-shirts and the TV shows and the adaptations and the book on film type of shit, that's when it started. It started 50 years ago, and it never stopped. It's just we're at a point now where technology has surpassed in the home what's available in the theater. You can, in Japan, buy 8K TVs. They don't even shoot film on 8K. Like, maybe Guardians of the Galaxy was 6K.
I think you mean digital or video, but
Or even still, okay? Like, it's at a point now where
the
you
Guardians
can
of the
have...
Galaxy may have been shot that way, but there's no 8K DI out there.
There's gonna be. If you shot it on 8K, it's in the vault.
For
When
sure.
8K home
They'll just
video becomes a
re-export it.
thing, exactly. It's gonna be on... Well, there's not gonna be 8K Blu-ray. It's gonna go from 4K Blu-ray to streaming only. Or maybe you can download it on your hard drive and then it gets deleted after a certain amount of time or something. But we're at the end of the physical media period. Like, in the next 5 years, there's going to be no reason. Not just in terms of landfills and physical versus digital space, because we're getting to a point now where, and shows like Silicon Valley talk about this, or there's like a rumor that Google Drive is just going to be free for everyone. It's going to support your whole library. Look at what Amazon can do with their servers. There's no longer going to be a limitation on how much you can store. There's going to be an unlimited amount. And the things that people buy are going to be much more meaningful, probably. Like, food is going to be the constant. But there's still, with 3D printers, like I saw this thing on Twitter today where people at MIT have found a way to 3D print pasta that can shift shapes.
That is fucking
Like, it
crazy.
can... Yeah. Like, you could already 3D print chocolate. Okay? Whatever. That's just chocolate. And plastic is the given. But they have organic materials now. You can 3D print hearts. When you can do that kind of thing, like, who cares about going into a dark room and shutting off the outside world and sitting in a room of, like, what, 300 to 400 people to see something that no one's seen before? That doesn't matter. What matters is going and seeing RoboCop, seeing your favorite film on a screen in front of people that you don't know, who also want to see their favorite film with people they don't know, so they can actually experience that experience that you're missing out on because you're too young.
Well, it's kind of what I love about like new revival stuff, or not new, but like revival stuff like that's still happening. We're in the best of both worlds, where we are literally like, as far as cinema, I think we are in the best time right now, where there are options. Like, I love living where I live because there are options to get pretty much any format or anything that I want.
Yeah,
That's
we
definitely
do-
true. Like,
we do
just
have a
as
silver
far as-
platter. We are in lucky cities.
Yeah,
between Los Angeles
it
and
goes
Austin,
to video
like, if-
games, it goes to music. Whether you want to get stuff on cassette or vinyl, or if you want to download or get something off Spotify, like, fucking video games, N64 or PS4. Like, there are so many options these days that it's crazy how awesome the time that we're living in is right now.
Except there's the bad things too. The trends that have happened that are also helping kill cinema.
Well, we just find so much shit to complain about too.
Well,
But-
the ubiquity
yeah.
of the shared cinematic universe, the DC extended universe, it predated the show, but the Marvel cinematic universe,
I don't
Universal's
think
Dark
it's
Universe,
killing it. I just
Hasbro,
think it's nearly the
Lego
end of,
Dimensions,
We're almost at the end of a trend, I think.
the American Ultra shared universe. Like, just the idea that
But this has been going on way back. I mean, Quentin Tarantino is his own shared universe.
Well,
King
also
Kong,
Robert
or King Kong
Rodriguez.
and Godzilla fought in the 60s. Godzilla's fought so many different monsters in the 60s. I don't know. Where else do you go? Like, even go back to the Universal monsters. Abbott and
Yeah.
Costello fucking met Frankenstein and the Mummy. Like, this is nothing new. It's just insanely popular
like you said,
right now.
the word is ubiquity. The fact where it's almost not just assumed that it would happen, but required at a spectacle level, whether that be on TV or in movies. That it's no longer good enough that it is its own thing. It has to be a thing within a thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's so popular right now that it's safe viewing. Like that's why I don't really get that excited by most blockbusters now. Is that they feel just way too safe. Like you know what you're gonna get.
Like you've seen it before, especially if you literally have seen it before. In the case of Disney, the rise of their live reaction, also known as the live action remake. Disney's takeover of Lucasfilm, Marvel, and Pixar, how they became a powerhouse. The fact that they own Marvel, like they own the industry. They have TV, they have video games, they have
They're
theme
kicking
parks
ass right now. They know
They
exactly what points to hit.
between Comcast and Disney, and even like to a lesser extent, like someone like Amazon, the fact that you can just get more and more and more and grow your audience to a larger and larger place. And then like the downside of that as well, the legacy cool or revival shows, making TV shows come back or making movies into TV shows or TV shows into movies, just reboots. Like look at how big Twin Peaks is right now, or even better than Twin Peaks. I saw the first episode of Riverdale, which is fucking Archie meets Twin Peaks, and good too. It's on Netflix. I'd check it out. It looks really pretty. Good acting too. Just for in terms of CW show, I was pretty impressed. Even though I've seen one episode, I was like, damn, this is like top level CW. Pretty impressive. And then also the downside of things in terms of the end of my list here, just the increased casualty count from terrorist events, celebrity deaths, Trump's presidential campaign, how we're in a constant state of a news cycle. The reason why I basically don't want to do this show anymore, that there is no end in sight. There's always going to be something new. If we did this show 5 years ago, there would be weeks where we only talk for like 40 minutes because, well, nothing happened. Whereas now, every single day, even if you want to look at like...
It almost feels as predictable, honestly, as the content that's just being put out there for us to consume. And that's where,
right?
I mean...
Like, they're
I
both
don't know,
being fabricated,
I love the idea
invented.
of starting this at the time, honestly, and then just at a certain point after starting to do it, I just lost interest in reading news.
Same.
Or just stuff like that. And I was just done, and now I got more and more focused on just trying to create more, honestly. And you can't exactly... read about shit being made all the time because that's just going to fuck with you if you're trying to make stuff.
I know my passion for staying up to date is going to live on. I'm sure maybe at some point in the future I revive this show, like TV is reviving everything, and I just take it another level. What I'm planning currently is just to continue the notes and put them out there on patreon.com/dollarviews for supporters so they can have a little newspaper that they can read on a weekly basis just so they know the things, not necessarily that I care about, but that were noteworthy, things that you might want to know about outside of what CNN covers and thinks that you should know, outside of the local news. Because for emerging technologies and for movie trends, like outside of so-and-so is working on this movie, it
I think
almost
we
never
cover,
breaks
like, a
through.
whole weird variety of stuff.
Used to, it was so different in like the first 50 episodes though, and we would literally cover so-and-so is attached to this movie and it has a trailer coming out this date, where it was us kind of just regurgitating what everyone else did, and now...
And it's just kind of like, well, I don't know, what discussion can you spark there other than it's being reported, It's like, I'll see if it's good. It's like, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of stuff coming out this holiday season that I don't even know about.
Like, did you see that bullshit, not even a thing, Seth Rogen, Rob Schneider, like, tussle that happened on Twitter?
No.
Okay, so Seth Rogen retweeted this picture. He was like, what the fuck? Apparently Rob Schneider blocked him. God knows why. Maybe over political things. I don't know. I don't follow Rob Schneider. And, well, the show does. I don't. And then people were, like, going out about it. And then, like, THR and Variety and, like, Deadline are, like, reporting on this thing. I'm like, it's not a thing. This is a Twitter argument. It's not even an argument because one of the people is not allowed to talk to the other.
See, that's why I don't really like hearing about this shit. Like, I don't really read stuff anymore because I figure, like, if it's important, I'll hear about it from somebody. Like, they will talk to me about it. Like, this... Already, it sounds like something I'm going to forget about, like, in a few days.
It's one of those, we don't actually want to report the real news. We want something that you'll talk about for 5 minutes.
Sensationalism.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not news.
But then again,
it's an item.
Hollywood has always been like that, all about fucking.
Well, not even
gossip
just Hollywood.
articles and
That's just that is news. Like, if it's not someone dying, it's someone
It's
being
just a gossip
born, and if
article.
it's
It's the
not
same.
that, then it's the death of something. Like it's always, how can we get the clickbaits? How are people going to buy our issue? Why are they going to tune in? And it's a never-ending cycle. It's literally a news cycle where it's going to come back around. It's there. There's no reason to continue, and that's part of why we're ending. But now that I've done our little timeline of interesting things that have happened over the course of our show, let's do our final show. Earlier this week, Amazon set its sights on the kitchen in a modest way. They introduced something called the Dash Wand, which is one of their dash buttons, except it's built into like a measuring tool. Sounds pretty cool. Waterproof, it's magnetic. The idea here is maybe you need like 3/4 of a cup, but you don't. The recipe calls for like millimeters, or not millimeters, like teaspoons. You can convert that on the fly. It's kind of like an Alexa device built into a dash button that is also a kitchen instrument. It's really cool. It's available currently only for Prime members and costs $20, but if you buy one, you get $20 back for Amazon, so it's free. And then you also get like 3 months trial for Amazon Fresh, which is their grocery delivery service, so that's cool too. It's basically a sous chef for all. It scans barcodes. You can ask it how to cook like rice perfectly or whatever. It's a kitchen.
Pretty soon you won't have to cook; it'll just cook for you.
Well, that's what rice cookers are for. But that, like I said, that was modest. That was like Amazon doing an Amazon thing, like, oh, look at our Amazon Echo look. Like, it's a mirror that tells you if you dressed well, or whatever. And they always have like these little things, like here's the Fire Stick, here's the whatever. They followed that up on Friday with something just fucking bonkers. They are buying Whole Foods for $13.7 billion.
Yeah,
they're
where
pouring
the fuck did that come
$14
from?
billion for Whole Foods.
They're really taking the food delivery business seriously, I think.
They take all business seriously. They're big on TV, movies,
I mean,
video
as far as
games,
quality, though,
live
and trying to get stuff
content,
out there.
e-commerce. The only thing like you can't buy from Amazon is a car. That and like
Give it
weapons, like there are limitations to what they will sell you. But at the same time, it's a brilliant move if you think about it, given that they already had Amazon Prime Now and Amazon Fresh. Like, now
That's the
own
one reason why that clicks is that exists, and once they have that, then
they have it.
Because their Prime Now and Prime Fresh stuff, like I looked at it, it's not exactly the biggest selection ever.
It's
but
like
you
Sprouts
got Whole Foods
and
linked to that.
Whole Foods was already part of it. It was like Sprouts, Whole Foods, and like random other neighborhood stores. And so when you actually
but I mean, it is still limited despite where it comes from. And now it's just
Whole Foods is limited too. It's not in every market, and it's a little snobbier. It's Pavilions, it's Bristol Farms, it's on the upper echelon of
there's
groceries.
quite a few here, but that's why.
Well, of course I know why. It's why Trader Joe's are in certain areas.
Yeah.
The real thing, though, that I see this is that it's Amazon cementing their place, not just in the food industry, but the brick and mortar world. One of the things that we covered on the show was, them moving from internet only to real world when they created these buttons and these devices, but then even more so than that, they have bookstores. They killed the book industry, but they have bookstores now. They have convenience stores that are opening with no tellers. It's just all automated. This is probably not going to pan out 100% because they're claiming currently that the food superstore Whole Foods is going to operate independently. They're going to keep their higher ups, but there's no way. It's going to eventually become Whole Foods in Amazon store. It's going to just be another version of their walk-in expansion.
It kind of bums me out. Like I think the buy makes sense, but then at the same time, we keep saying Amazon's going to take over the world. You take over
Welcome to the
grocery
Amazon
shopping and
Prime to compete. Just some of our episode titles.
Yeah, I mean, it's just still scary,
Like, Amazon Prime wasn't really a thing when we started this show. They didn't have any movies.
No, well, it was a delivery thing.
It was a delivery thing.
Yeah,
all
it
it was
almost a decade
2-day
now.
shipping.
I've had Prime. Yeah.
It was 2-day shipping, and it was, like, the Kindle lending library. Now...
And I think some music.
A little bit of music. Yeah. But now it's a full-on streaming competitor. Now it's Twitch Prime. Now it's so many fucking things at the same time that it's almost required for like first American, like not first American, but first world living. Like, if you don't have it and yet you have Hulu, it's like you're doing something wrong, dude. Like you picked the wrong thing. Speaking of, I invested in YouTube Red finally because pretty much probably just because I want to see Ketty again.
I mean, the thing is, like, with Prime, it's like I don't feel like I'm investing in a streaming service. I'm paying the same amount, like, now, well, maybe a little bit more, that, I would have. I think 10 years ago, the flat rate for just Prime, just for 2-day shipping, was some like $75 a year. Back in like 2009
Now it's
or so.
110 or
Yeah,
or
which
$10
okay,
a month.
not that much more. Like, and you get a lot more for that. I still have Prime. Like, it's not a monthly fee. It's an annual fee, and I'm not thinking that I have a streaming service that I pay for. It's just a bonus for this other thing that I use it for.
It's a Costco card plus a streaming service
Pretty
plus a
much,
music
yeah.
service plus
So it's like you get a ton of perks just for this one thing, because in my mind it still really is 2-day shipping. That's probably how ancient I am already.
no,
at this
I
point.
see it primarily that like that's still the thing that I use first and foremost.
Yeah,
Even
well,
though I
it's
have
like
the
that's the
Amazon
first
credit
thing I
card, and
associate it with.
you can literally get credit cards on Amazon. Like you can get pretty much
Yeah.
anything. But here's the real funny thing that happened this week. It wasn't them making this dish one. It wasn't them buying Whole Foods. It was a patent resurfacing that they filed back in 2012 that is technology that allows Amazon to block shoppers in stores from comparing prices against online competitors. The only catch here is at the time, because this is 2012 and they didn't foresee data the way it is now, it was only if you're using the store's Wi-Fi. So they already had designs in 2012 to own markets, to own stores, and they were going to not allow you to compare it to Walmart's prices or Target's prices or whatever. And so I would probably assume that not Bristol Farms, Whole Foods is going to use this technology, and you're not going to be able to stand there and see if it's cheaper across the street, which is crazy because that's the reason Amazon exists. I remember putting Borders out of business, being in one of their stores, scanning a barcode of a book I wanted, finding it on
Amazon's
Amazon,
taking
going,
over the world.
I'll just buy it from Amazon. And now they're going to not allow you to do that. That's how smart they are. They're buying the store that you shop at and not letting you even contemplate shopping at another store while you're there. It's too smart. They are too smart. This is the company
fucking evil,
that
honestly.
is going to space. They're trying to take us to Mars. They are by and large.
Yeah.
They're already there now. By and large wasn't even as like crazy as Amazon actually is.
I don't know. Wait till Amazon's got like their own in-flight service and everything.
They're
and
going to.
it'll
They're
get
probably
there.
going to have an airline.
They're gonna have a planet.
It's going to be called Mars.
They're gonna have a fucking Star Destroyer.
By and large, space shuttle.
They will have a massive shipping dock on the moon. I'm sure.
Well, they're going to have the drones later this year. We know that, which is just crazy because they're already. Oh my god.
You know what scares me? This is actually something that's in a script that I'm writing, but like I look at the sky, and just constantly I'm thinking, how long is it till I'm just not going to see pure blue? Like there's always going to be a drone up there, regardless of whatever time it is. Like, has that thought ever occurred to you?
I mean, I started rewatching Gravity the other night, and you get that, like when you see all those. Wait, no, not Gravity. What the fuck was I watching?
I mean,
Oh,
Wally's
it's
got that degree of
Triple
satellites
X.
in it.
No, it's Triple X: The Return of Xander Cage. The plot of that film is basically there's a device that allows any satellite to fall to Earth and blow up things, And so you get these shots in space where just the planet is surrounded by satellites, like 100%. And like that's kind of the same idea that
Okay, but I mean, Triple X is kind of, it's Triple
says
X.
you haven't seen it. It's worth a watch.
Really? It's not Triple X, is what you're saying?
It's garbage.
I've
It's
seen
not even.
Triple X. I've seen Triple X State of the Union.
This is Return of Xander
I
Cage.
recognize them both for what they are. I'm just saying
This
that
is
they are
right
what they
up
are.
there, but like a little more campy.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying
No,
what
it's
it
no.
is.
I know
right?
it's bad. This one is definitely bad, but it's also a good time. Like I wish I had seen it in theaters, and I wish I definitely saw it in 3D. Like DJ Caruso did a good job. The
Good.
cast
He's
is
a
really
good
good.
director that doesn't get enough work.
The cast is super international and really really good. You got Donnie Yen, Tony Jaa, Vin Diesel. I forget the Indian actress they have. Like so many fucking people. And Toni Collette is in the movie. You got Samuel L. Jackson. You
Where
got
the hell has she been? Yeah, I know Sam
right.
Jackson's
You
in
got
it. He's-
Neymar Jr. in like a cameo role. Like they got a Chinese star. Like if you can think of a place on the planet, they have a star from that country. And the
remind me,
action is like just bonkers. Like it
Does
is
Sam Jackson have an eye patch in that movie, or is
sort-
it just the
no,
scar?
It's a scar.
Okay. For some
Yeah.
reason, I thought like there might have been an eye patch
No,
there
yeah,
as
it's
well.
Nick
Like he was
Fury.
donning Nick Fury before Nick Fury. But
Well, they
no.
kind of have something in the movie where it's like I don't know. Watch it. It's worth a watch. I got a free Redbox rental, so I did that way. It is totally like like when you do your buy one get one free rental. It's that. That's
If there's a 3D blue, I might rent it because I actually hear that the 3D was really really well planned out.
I'm not gonna watch it again in 3D, but I wish that Redbox rented 3D Blu-rays, and I definitely would have watched it that way because it's
You
it's
don't
a
have a video
perfect
store by you anymore that has
The
them,
video
or-
store by me that I work next door to that's been there since I was a
yeah.
kid is actually going out of business.
But is there another one? In
Not
your area?
really.
No.
Not on my
There's
side
like
of town.
2 that are walking distance from me,
I mean, I did
and they
get
do have
4
3D
more.
Blu-rays too.
I did buy a couple more VHS tapes this week though, so
Yeah.
it's grown. I have like 8 now, like actually mine. Oh, I have 10. Most of them are Disney. Most of them are like the Platinum series. But I got like Land Before Time, The Great Mouse Detective, the Parent Trap remake, and what was the 4th one I got? I think The Rescuers.
Nice.
I was like, okay, like that for
That was one
$1.
of the few VHS tapes that I had. Like, Rescuers taught me to speak in English. True story. Like, that was one of the few English VHS tapes I had growing up.
It's like, thank you, Disney.
Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
really, Disney and my mom were what taught me to speak English, and Sesame Street.
I love Sesame Street.
Yeah. Disney sing-along songs, The Rescuers, some DuckTales tape, and I think there was Pete's Dragon and something else. I can't remember. But
I still haven't
yeah.
seen Pete's Dragon either version, but I bought that VHS earlier this year too. Also Atlantis.
You know what? Okay,
The
here,
Three Musketeers.
Funny
Angels
fact
in the
about
Outfield.
Pete's Dragon. What is the runtime on the one that you have?
Oh, I don't know. It's in my
'Cause-
living room. I have to
Yeah, because like
go
the
run and grab it.
movie that came out in the U.S. I think is like over. It's over 2 hours long. I think it's like 2 hours. And 10
Original?
minutes. Yeah, like it's
Really?
really, really fucking long. And I look at reviews for it, and it
You
dragged.
know
And
what?
so
No,
yeah,
here. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go fucking grab it. Now.
Okay. Yeah. While he's doing that, I'm gonna get mine as well. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Where do they
Alright.
put a runtime? That's right. It's on the tape itself.
How long does yours say? Because I got my copy on there, and it's a lot shorter than yours. I'm betting.
128 minutes. Fuck, that's a long Disney.
You want to
movie.
know how long mine is?
How?
106 minutes. Like, no joke. So, because I was living in Switzerland, the only VHS tapes that I had that would play in the region, they came from the UK. For whatever reason, that was the version that was released in the UK. It was 106 minutes long. So, the Blu-ray that I have of Pete's Dragon, when I was in London and I was just going around in shops and stuff, I'm always thinking like, okay, I'm going to buy an import. And so to me, for the sake of nostalgia, it seemed fitting to get a copy of Pete's Dragon from the UK because I had a VHS tape that was from there. And the Blu-ray I had is the same exact runtime as the one that I grew up with. So I have no idea how the fuck that's possible, that even when you get to the digital age that they still maintain that version and they're still wildly different. Like, I don't know what happened
It would
there.
have to be, since in that region that's the cut that they got, they would want to preserve that for the same reason that you
For
wanted
sure,
the
but-
same one. Like you would.
Yeah, well,
it's
no,
basically
I was
director's
not,
cut.
I was not
versus
aware of that
theatrical.
until like I bought it and I realized I was lucky. But yeah, it's insane that to me to like, because I've always known that movie to be like. I even rewatched it earlier this year when I was sick one day just for comfort, and even at 106 minutes, it drags in some places. So I'm thinking, how the fuck could this thing?
I guess I'll find out. Like
Yeah, like it seems like that would be way too long. Evidently, there's like some extra song numbers that you have on there.
I'm not sure.
But yeah,
The other
I don't
movie
know.
that I bought the other day, I can remember, was Sword in the Stone. So
It's a
like
fun movie, yeah.
my
I have a VHS
VHS,
tape of that
my
too.
Disney library is pretty substantial now. Like I don't ever really.
No,
I
there was a
just I'll pick
phase
them up
where
because they're four for a dollar. Why not? You know.
yeah,
But
there was a phase that I kind of got a bit nostalgic. You can see this on my letterbox because like right after I graduated from college, I did dip into nostalgia a lot while I was just doing nothing.
yeah, you're
And a lot of
watching
the Disney
Charlie Brown
watches
a
on
lot.
there, yeah, that was also prepping for the movie. But yeah, all the Disney watches that you probably will find on there, they're mostly VHS. I think they're even tagged VHS. Like I still have a lot of VHS tapes that are Disney just sitting somewhere at home.
Yeah, like I said, I've been buying them up when I see them. I should have bought more, but I just wasn't
Well,
in
I
the
know you
mood.
got
Like
a
they were,
crap ton like that I saw when I
well,
visited you that
for
like the
sure,
first
but
time.
see, that's
Yeah.
the thing. When I saw some yesterday, like I saw Lion King, I saw Doug's first movie, I saw Rescuers and Rescuers Down Under, I saw like Mulan, I saw the Little Mermaid, the original cover with the golden dildo on it.
I have that one too.
I already have that one, so I didn't need a second. I
Yeah,
should have picked it
and
up.
that's a copy that still has the pre-spawner on there.
So I saw so many of them. I was like, I already have that. I have that. I have that. And I wasn't even thinking in terms of resale because I don't know. It just seems shady to me. Like I should have, but I don't know. I don't like buying things just to sell them.
No, I'm
But talking
I
about
could buy
buying
those literally
things,
for $1, and it's like if I want to watch them, then I'll get them for that usually. But
talking about buying things though, Verizon finally closed its deal to
all right, we're still
acquire
doing a
Yahoo.
show.
Yeah, they paid $4.5 billion for Yahoo, which includes, Tumblr and a couple other things. So put that in perspective.
Yahoo's worth
Yahoo,
that much.
Yahoo Mail, Yahoo Sports, Yahoo Finance, Tumblr is worth $4.5 billion. Whole Foods is worth $14 billion. We're talking like almost, like literally three times as much money. How is the internet worth? Well, I mean, it's Yahoo. But now Verizon, which has renamed themselves Oath, it owns AOL, Yahoo, Tumblr, the Huffington Post, Build Finance, Go90, and whatever the hell else they own in their inevitable path to global dominance. It's a lot of shit. Like, I kind of want them to buy like a movie studio or something. Like, I know Yahoo Screen failed really, really badly.
Yeah,
But I would actually like for them to try to do that again. To do something now that they have all the... Because AOL just in and of itself owns so many websites. Like Engadget and I think The Verge. And like most of the sites that the internet turns to for technology news are owned by AOL. And when you couple that with the stuff that Yahoo owns and that Verizon just outright owns,
yeah.
like they have their own corner of the internet, which is fairly scary.
I'm still trying to process Oath at the same time. But like,
They're-
has that
take the
brand
Oath.
even been put out yet?
Not yet. I mean, it's going
No.
to very soon since this
It's not in the public consciousness
since
yet.
this transaction has finalized and they officially own Yahoo now. That is going to be when Oath gets rolled out. It's going to now like Verizon phones aren't going to be renamed Oath Mobile or anything,
No,
but
it's
it's
still going to be Verizon
it's
Wireless.
I think it's just their branding, kind of like how Google became Alphabet not too many years ago. And it was like, we want a corporate structure, we want a parent company. And this way, it's not like whatever it currently is Verizon Online Services, it is Oath. Like, that is all of our online, that's all the pies we have. That is the whatever you want to call it. And it's kind of catchy, I get it. I mean, listener to the show, Hyro, works for Oath. So, there you go. Maybe we can ask him in the future if we do some other kind of different show where I kind of just want to do an interview show, not a new show, just interview show.
Yeah, he's never been on here, has he?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I know you talk about him a lot.
Well, I mean, I used to record like the beginning of Dollar Reviews was recorded in our living room. Like
He
wouldn't doubt
tweeted
that
at
he
me
was
one time
there
wondering
before.
what the hell happened to me in one of these episodes too when I just disappeared. Like I think it's had a power failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. If you're listening to Hyro, we miss you. The last little bit of
he has
news.
to be listening if like because I was surprised by that. It's like wow, someone knows that I just disappeared in an episode somehow.
The last little piece of news before we take a much needed break. Facebook and Apple took great strides this week in solidifying their plans for original programming. Before we know it, we're going to forget that they never made media in the first place, especially Facebook since they are a social media giant. and now they're actually going to be a media giant, which is just wrong if you think about it. I'm not comfortable with that idea. The fact that they're going to have original movies and TV shows, and Apple already does. Was it Planet of the Apps is already out there. Their Carpool Karaoke show is coming out like any day now, and it's going to be the same story. Like, I'm sure that they're going to join the pool of Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, XYZ. So many damn different services are out there where it just, in like 10 years time, they're going to be, they're going to have to make a new award ceremony. The Emmys, Tonys, Golden Globes, and Oscars don't cut it anymore. They have the Webbies. Maybe the Webbies have to grow to include like original programming, and that would be the most prestigious award for that kind of, like, this kind of content when it's internet only.
Well, it's just a different distribution model, so it has to be differentiated somehow. But at the same time, like, especially with the case of the Emmys, like, TV's evolving, so like, what are you gonna? That's gonna have to be obsolete or like rebranded in some way, right? Because it's
if you look at the Oscars in terms of you need to release it in theaters on a certain amount of screens by the end of the year. When you have something like Okja, or The Beguiled, Beguiled's Amazon, but even still, Okja's playing at the New Bev.
Beguiled is Focus, I think.
Is it? Oh yeah, it is Focus.
Yeah, and it just played at the New Bev.
It did.
Yeah, a few days ago.
They're getting Okja, so I might go to see that.
Really?
Yeah, to actually get to see that on a screen.
There's a 35mm print.
That's what they're getting.
They struck for that.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy.
Yeah, they had a poster in the lobby right next to the RoboCop 2 poster. I was like, whoa.
And they said that they're getting it?
Yeah, their site says that they're getting it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What day?
I think it's later this month. It might be early July.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That should be cool.
You lucky son of a bitch.
Well, they also got
I don't know if that
Videodrome.
means I'll get anything then, but yeah, if
they got
Videodrome
like... on the 1st of July, so I might go see that. Even though it's not my favorite Cronenberg movie, I'm curious.
They already put out July's calendar?
Oh, that one's on there, but yeah, it should be out by now.
Yeah, like, I'm used to them having the calendars come out late, like usually around like the 26th or 27th of the month.
Mm-hmm.
But
you guys have been listening.
I rarely check them anymore.
You guys have been listening for a while, and that's not even just to say 100 episodes, but in terms of the 1 hour that we've been talking thus far. And if you like what you hear, since the show's ending and you want to find us elsewhere, you can find Dollar Reviews. That's our spoiler-free, no recaps for new releases. We do all kinds of shit. If it's streaming, if it's in theaters, if it is a blockbuster, if it's an art house thing, we're going to watch it. The Big Sick is probably going to be our next movie. Maybe even like Patterson is going to be. I really want to see that. But like recent films from this year, we did Logan, we did Wonder Woman, I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore, The Handmaiden, Sandy Wexler. Like I said, Power Rangers. We are going to go see it. We don't see everything because, hey, we don't get paid to do this. Well, we do now, but not even what we have currently isn't enough for one ticket for either of us, unless it's at like the
off
theater.
Topic, but what do you do with the Patreon money?
I haven't actually cashed out yet. So
all
it's
right,
just gonna.
So you just see it accumulate on there.
Yeah, for the
I was
1 month that we've
how do we
had.
distribute that?
I'll look into it. We can probably like do a PayPal or like a Venmo type thing where like we split it or so. I don't know. I've just let it, like, it's sitting there. It's like a piggy bank. So maybe what I'll do is I'll save it, and then when our domain name needs to be repurchased, that I can use it for that, or maybe like YouTube Red or something. I can pay it that, and then you can have access to the account. Or I don't know.
Really
I haven't
want me to see Ketty, don't you?
Well, they have other content, but yeah, fuck yeah, I want to see Ketty.
No, I know you want me to.
Plus,
see
then
it.
I mean, YouTube Red also gives you YouTube without commercials, their original programming, the movies they get. Plus, you get Google Play Music Unlimited, so you can do music, like any music you can think of without commercials as well. And I think you can add like 5 accounts, so I could add your account to my YouTube Red at the end of the show if you'd like. So yeah, we do a lot of movies for that. It's been going since 2012. Our other show, our bigger show, is Death Cinema, which is our semi-topical List of Shame show. Our next episode's on The Stepfather, which it coincides with Father's Day. It's our reversal of fortune on we're making horror picks for holidays this year just because it's fun.
You were the one that called it that, which I didn't plan on that, but since you brought the attention to it, I'm just thinking that way where This year might be the year of holiday horror picks, and then next year is going to have to be some other genre.
Musicals.
I already did the musical Jesus pick, so for Easter.
Hey.
Yeah.
Like I said, we did Stepfather. We did some original remake double features. So we did The Mummy this past 2 weeks in time with the Tom Cruise one that no one saw. So we did the Brendan Fraser 1999 film, and then we also did Boris Karloff 1932. We did Cronenberg's The Fly and also Vincent Price's. We did In the Mood for Love, if you're a fan of Wong Kar-wai. That's a good episode. We did another Hong Kong film, Infernal Affairs, the week before that. We did a couple of Palme d'Or picks this year. 4 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days, The Conversation. Some Best Picture winners.
Dancer
We
in the
did
Dark.
Wings, Dancer in the Dark also, yeah. Some foreign stuff, Time Crimes. We did some blockbusters that flopped, like Howard the Duck. Some zany cult films like Biodome. We're at 92
there are
episodes.
way too many of those now.
92. There's almost as many Death Cinemas as there are. Like, it's going to catch up to 2 Cents very soon.
Honestly, the one that stood out to me where I completely forgot we did an episode of was Odd Thomas, and I actually did re-listen to that before we recorded The Mummy because I was like,
Good
did I
episode.
say anything about Stephen Sommers that
Yeah,
I
we
should
had
try to remember? And it's funny, I literally did say this, though, during the episode, which I laughed at myself, but I said, this is probably one of those movies where I'm going to browse through our catalog, and then I'm going to see the title, I'm going to be like, Odd Thomas,
What's
what the
that?
fuck is
Oh,
that?
yeah, it's the Anton Yelchin movie.
Yeah, and then I had to listen to it just to remember that. It's like, yeah, pretty much. Although what's funny is that, good thing about our episode was that I started remembering the movie the more that I heard about us talk about it. So,
That's the point
yeah,
of,
that worked
the point
out
of the show,
nicely.
man.
Yeah.
So we do all that. We did all this, and we used to do it for the funsies, but now we have supporters. They are awesome. There's Evelyn, who backed us with $5 a month, and also Tyler, who runs Future Horse Pod, who gives us $2 a month. So between them, that's $7. That's not too shabby. We do more episodes than that a month, but that's going to cease to exist, thank God. Patreon, though, like I said, I've mentioned before on the show, if you go to patreon.com/dollarreviews, you can see what you can get the money for. I'm going to update it probably in the next week. I want to change it around, especially like maybe the $50 a month is a little too high. Maybe I'll drop down to $40 for the ads, and you're going to hear one of those in just a second here. But all of our content, I don't know how you found it. Maybe you found it on accident or a friend shared it with you. If you'd like to share or like or whatever, follow, that'd be awesome, because we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, Instagram, WordPress, Tumblr. If you look for dollar views on any of those services, you're going to find us. And then same goes for actually listening to it. You can go to Google Play Music, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, SoundCloud. If you can think of a place where podcasts are besides Spotify, because they're ridiculous, you're going to be able to find our content. You can join the conversation. We would love an email. You can reach out to us, either Brian or Steve at dollarreviews.net. Just comment on our WordPress, comment on our Facebook. Matter of fact, right before I do this ad, I did post a Facebook post asking if anyone would like to share anything on the show. Let's see if anyone actually reached out.
I should probably check Facebook because I've not been on there in forever. In fact, I am so bad at this. I do not check the email as nearly often as I should.
I check email every day, many
Do you have
times.
it linked to your phone?
Yes, it's in my Gmail app, and I check it and check it and check it because I don't have notifications turned on because I hate notifications for anything. So yeah, I got likes on the comment or on the status update, but no one actually said anything.
It's like, oh, that's cute. He's reaching out for people and asking,
But whatever.
if we want to share anything.
So since they didn't want to share
Fuck
anything,
y'all.
I'm going to share an ad. This ad is for Rocket League. I've mentioned it many times on the show. I still play it. It's been out for almost 2 years
Over
now.
2 years.
It's going to be celebrating its 2-year anniversary at the first week of July. So it started right when we did, and I still play it. I don't play it as much as I used to because I got all the fucking achievements. I have 100% trophies for it. But the reason I'm going to mention it, not because it's an awesome melding of car action and soccer, or soccer as they call it, which you can play in either 1-on-1 up to 4-on-4 modes, but they add free content all the time. If you go to a retailer right now and get Xbox Live Gold, you get a free copy of Rocket League. And even if you don't buy it that way, it's only $20. It's on sale all the time. You get like the game of the year for only $30. But they actually just started selling these awesome things. They're blind bags. So it comes in a ball that looks exactly like the Rocket ball. the Rocket League ball, and there's an actual car in it. That's what a blind bag is. It's like one of 12 different designs. The one that I have is Merc, and they're those old-fashioned cars where you pull them back and they drive forward. Some of them come with DLC in the ball itself, which is even better. That's not the one I got. I almost bought another one today. They're $6. You can find them all kinds of places. GameStop, I would assume Best Buy, probably on Amazon. If you see one of these and you're a fan of the game, trust me, you're going to love it. And if you don't know what the game is, you need to play it because you'll probably love that too. You can play soccer, you can play basketball, you can play hockey. There's a mode called Rumble where you have special powers. There's one that's called Drop Shot where it's like its own version. It's hard to explain. Basically, you make holes in the floor and that's how you score by putting in those holes. And it's always been free. You can get cars, you can buy like modifications that make them look pretty. You can buy extra spinners and decals. I have the Back to the Future DeLorean. I have the Batmobile from Batman vs Superman. I bought Dom's Ice Charger from Fate of the Furious, even though I haven't seen it. They have a lot of content. I buy it because Psyonix is awesome, and they love their fans. It's a big game. It's an esport. It has a big competitive scene. The Rocket League Championship Series just happened about a month ago. Huge turnout, prize pool where people are winning like $250,000 for being good at a simulation of soccer where they're playing as a car. If you've never seen it, I do stream it on occasion. I think I have gameplay of it. Some people that are really great, especially on YouTube, John Sandman. He's not just entertaining and hilarious, especially on Twitch, but his YouTube content is great too. You gotta check it out. If you've never played it, they do free weekends, but it's worth your money. I'd buy that for $1. I got it for free, but that's why I give them so much money, because it is worth every penny of the money that I never paid in the first place. So yeah, Psyonix, Rocket League, their subreddit is awesome too. Their Twitter, great fan service, great community. Even if some people are toxic online, because hey, that's the internet and that's gaming. But yeah, please check it out. If you like that ad, if you thought I sold the shit out of that game, I will do the same for you. It's not going to be on 2 cents because you missed that chance. If you did, we probably wouldn't stop the show. But we still do. You
should have done with that ad. You should have added music in the background.
Rocket League.
You can do your ads like Kevin Smith. In fact, you have done your ads like Kevin Smith, but you need to have some sort of song in the background or some ambience there.
Rocket League's music is amazing. That's probably the best part of the game. You get free music every time they update it, and there's like 20 songs and arenas.
Yeah, just do it with the tempo of the game. Yeah, your ads will be that much better.
I mean, they probably will be, because they're going to be on our actual recorded shows. We're going to be adding ads like those to Debt to Cinema and Dollar Reviews, either if you support us or not. I would hope the former, not the latter. They are going to be mock-up. I'll probably record like 4 or 5 different ones, and we'll throw them on there sporadically.
Well, I imagine, it'll be easy to do it on the spot for Dollar Reviews, because you can have the main review, then you can throw the ad right in the middle, and then we can do our solo segment where we just share whatever it is that we're doing.
It's that easy.
Yeah. Debt to Cinema would be a bit more difficult,
a little weird,
I think, but we got to figure that out.
We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll just do on Dollar Reviews.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. With Debt to Cinema, I don't know if it's the raw nature of the conversation in between that I like preserving while we have the formal shit out of the way, so we got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, that was the ad break. Now we're back to the show. Last week we covered E3. It was bad timing because E3 is a 3-day event. So we covered day 0, and now that it's over, we got E3 news part 2 and also VR news. The big item here is that Nintendo won E3, and I say that not readily. I don't like them anymore.
I'm surprised to hear you say that.
They won.
I've not read anything, so how the hell does that happen?
They showed off a Yoshi game, Kirby, 2 Metroids, one for the Switch, which is Metroid Prime 4, one for the 3DS, which is Samus Returns, which is a return to form. It's a 2D Metroid game. Rocket League is coming to the Switch. They're adding a whole bunch of more amiibo. There's release dates for things. Mario Kart VR is coming to HTC Vive. Like, they showed off so many things. Like, they have cross-network functionality even. People on Xbox are going to be able to play Rocket League with people on Switch who also are playing on PC. As I said, that's 3 systems, not all 4, because PlayStation's fucking stupid. They probably lost E3 this year. Even though I did not like Xbox, I talked about that last episode, their system that they showed off, which is now a week old, with a price point and a release date, it costs $500, comes out November 7th, is not able to be pre-ordered at retailers. That's how fucking silly they are. They do not understand how the world works. As someone who works in the retail industry, I've had many people ask, can I pre-order? Then I go, no, you can't. I'm so sorry. There's nothing in my POS. I apologize. Maybe in the future, come back, please. Don't buy it on Amazon. But yeah, it's been a thing. People on PlayStation and PC have been able to play certain games together, notably Rocket League. When Xbox was added, they got the same PC infrastructure, and Psyonix told the world, for some reason, PlayStation isn't letting us to do it. And with the announcement that Switch, Xbox One, and PC can play together, but PlayStation can't, a lot of the media this week were wondering, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Because Minecraft is going to be doing the exact same thing. And their excuse isn't even an excuse. They said, we love the security that we have for our gamers, and we don't want them to be susceptible to bad language or whatever. Like it was just the most bull. It was the same reason why you're not allowed to change your username on PlayStation. Just you can't. Sorry guys, sorry. Don't look into it. You just can't do it. They did show off awesome stuff though. They had gameplay for God of War and for Sony, for the new Spider-Man game. They showed off more Detroit Become Human. They showed off a lot of VR. That was the best thing about PlayStation's press conference, not just because I own the thing. Superhot, which has been a PC VR exclusive up until now, is coming later this summer, which I'm going to buy, and there's going to be a lot of gameplay of that. Skyrim is coming to PS4 as a VR game. I already pre-ordered it. Bethesda alone had the best showing besides Nintendo. Doom, Fallout, and Skyrim are all coming to VR this year. Skyrim is also coming to the Switch. They're making a new Wolfenstein game. They're making a new Evil Within. It's all of their franchises are getting another outing and in a new way, which is it's cool. I love, even though I don't like Bethesda or their studios, and especially not ZeniMax for being a VR patent troll, at least they are progressing. We're talking about Skyrim here. Not a watered-down version of Skyrim. We're talking about Skyrim. It's going to be in virtual reality on a home system by the end of this year.
I completely forgot that was a big thing for a second.
They re-released Skyrim just a couple months ago on PS4 and Xbox, and it sold a lot. I didn't buy it because I hate Skyrim. I'm buying this fucking thing because, I would like to be in this world and get to walk around a countryside that is fucking huge. I'm not going to fast travel at all. I'm just going to walk. If I had an Omni treadmill, or maybe I'll do my Farpoint thing where I just kind of jostle in place, oh man, I'm going to get fit. I'm going to be walking miles. Legitimately miles. I might want to go to a gym and walk on a treadmill when I play. Or something fucking stupid like that. But yeah, super, super exciting. Like I said, Superhot, the Bethesda showing. They also showed off this new game called Moss, which involves a rabbit. Super massive. I was live tweeting the E3 pressers. Super massive. The people behind Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. They're making a prequel called The Inpatient in VR. They also have another game called Fireteam Bravo. I don't think that's the actual name. I think it's it might be actually, which is going to use the PSVR aim controller, and it's going to be a cooperative shooter, not sci-fi. It's going to be grounded in reality. They showed off a lot very, very quickly, without dates. They didn't give a date for anything. That's why Sony probably had one of the weaker ones. Well, out of the big ones, Ubisoft was pretty shitty. EA was really bad. I'm happy I didn't go to that. But the big thing that Ubisoft actually showed off, besides Beyond Good and Evil 2, which doesn't have a date and it's probably never coming out, and I still haven't played the first game even though I own it, even though it's supposed to be an amazing game. But probably the biggest thing that I saw that I'd never even heard of, just wasn't even expecting, was this new game from Spectrevision, which is Elijah Wood's interactive company that's coming from Ubisoft. It's a VR game called Transference. And it's going to be coming next spring. It's supposed to scare you about the limitations of VR, about how scary it is that it's going to be
Infinite?
Maybe. Or more so just it's gonna be like a psychological horror game / experience that fucks with the idea that, you know, which one of these is the actual reality. It's gonna be that's something like that. But you know, it's Elijah Wood. He doesn't really put out bad stuff. He definitely doesn't put his name on bad things.
Doesn't half-ass anything.
Yeah, well, maybe that Open Windows movie, but whatever. Fuck it.
Did he half-ass it, or did the movie just not turn out well?
I'm gonna try to rewatch that. I think watching that one late at night is not a good choice, but it stars Sasha Grey. You know, she might be good on Entourage, but she's not. She's not the best actress. Like The Girlfriend Experience, not the best movie. And it's partially because of her.
Yeah, and I know that's the big selling point. Is like, oh, this is an actual escort. You know, but yeah, I don't know. That's The Girlfriend Experience. Pretty much the only reason I know her name. I don't think I've seen her in anything actually.
I've seen a lot in her. I mean, no, I've seen her on a lot. No, that's still wrong. I've seen Entourage. That's all I've seen. No, I've seen a good amount of her work, and
she's not in the movie, is she?
No, but she's on an entire season. She plays
like
recurring
in
character.
the later though, near the end of the show, right? Yeah, I think I missed that stuff.
And she's interesting.
How many seasons were there?
It's complicated. It's basically 8 because there's one that was split in half.
Yeah, like I don't know. Season 5 is 4 is the Metadine one, right?
I want to see. Yeah, I think that's the one.
Like I think I saw the first episode or first 2 episodes of season 5, and then that's kind of it. Then everything else before that is
it's
scattered.
Like there isn't actually a Medellin season. It goes over.
It's mostly season 4. It's
2
probably
seasons.
Like what?
It like one season is them trying to make it, and then finally doing
so. Up to the
so.
premiere, and then one of them opens
and then
with
it
being a flop.
Yeah, the one season opens with them at Cannes. Like all summer you waited, and then they went to Cannes, and you get to see that, and then you see where that goes after the fact.
Yeah.
But talking about like more narrative things, Sony did show off this thing, not even during the press conference, just like on the side, like in the pre-show, which seems really cool. It's what they're calling PlayLink. It's a new initiative which allows non-traditional gamers to interact with releases via smart devices. So the big game that they showed off, which is coming later this year, is called Hidden Agendas. It looks really cool. It's kind of like an Until Dawn type of game, or like a Telltale type of game, where it's a narrative-driven crime thriller which crowdsources decisions to take you on branching paths. I think it supports up to 5 devices at once. So the idea is, instead of one person holding the controller and everyone shouting at them what to do, you literally all vote together. Like, oh, answer the phone, walk away, whatever you want to do. Like, it is a choose-your-own-adventure game that also has, like, a good narrative to it, like you're watching a TV show. The fun part here, though, is that not everyone is going to see the same information. Like, some people may be working against the group or may have some kind of power play in hand. This one, though, what is it? Hidden Agendas is a serial killer drama. It's going to work by yourself. It's going to work in groups. It's going to work if you're, like, live broadcasting the game. And this is just one of the games that is part of this initiative. Like, I think there's, like, 4 other ones coming out this year. Looks really cool. Like, this is something that is just a new way of party gaming. Like, instead of doing, because tabletop games are making a comeback, you can play things like You Don't Know Jack, which also use this, like the Jackbox games. It's the same idea. You don't need a controller. You use smart devices, and that's how that's how you play along. And it's just taking that technology, which is already available, and bringing that into a true gaming experience or narrative experience. And this is basically like a movie come to life. Which I think is just, I've talked about this before on the show. I think it's the future technology. Like, especially since games like these exist in VR already also, that if you take this technology and you, like, congeal it with virtual reality, that's when you truly get some kind of storytelling that is not possible elsewhere. Like, more so than just being within the world, but when people around you who aren't in there with you can help decide what kind of experience you're having, that's when it's really cool. And we're almost there. And the funny thing that happened this week, and it just gave me such a good feeling when I not just report the news, but get to say, ha ha ha, I predicted it. As predicted on the show like a year ago, Sony has a Spider-Man Homecoming virtual reality promotional tie-in experience. It's
because of course,
well, not of course, because it took them a while to figure this out. The cool thing is that it's swinging into headsets this Friday, a full week before
I know you just
opening.
wanted to say that.
Yes. It's going to be free. It's available on PSVR, Oculus Rift, HTC Vive. It's going to be in Cinemark lobbies. I'm gonna look into this. Well, I'll find out how it is. But they finally figured it out. They put the Passengers thing out way after the movie was released. The Ghostbusters thing that's available, same deal. The Martian, it didn't land on PlayStation fast enough.
Well, Ghostbusters was available though, like even before release a little bit, right? It was
No,
only
this
New
is
York.
no, that's a completely different experience. But yeah, that was before release. This was an
Yeah.
after the fact. Let's use our intellectual property. But
No, now it's like let's tie it in at the same
yeah,
time.
like this is we're going to put it out before the movie's there. That way, it's like better than a trailer or like an ad page. This is something that you can experience in real time. That's going to sell you better
It's
than
just like-
anything else can. You're going to swing through the buildings. You're going to like stop the bad guy. Like, I'm excited.
I
I'm
mean,
excited
if you're
for this
seeing
Friday.
that movie in 3D too, like I mean, that's just
Which, of course,
another
I
thing
will.
that's icing in the cake. Like you, fucking Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I'm one of the few defenders of that movie, but fuck that first action sequence, like in 3D. Like just thinking about how that played out, like the shots, the choices, like the vertigo of just being up in the air that you feel just with that sensation of 3D. I'm just like, yeah, fucking VR should be all about that for Spider-Man. Like I would be so fucking down to check that out if I can.
Go to a Cinemark, man. Maybe.
Yeah, the fucking Cinemark sucks here.
Do it for the
I-
VR, man. Do it for that. Do it
And then just refund the ticket and leave. Like,
Who
bye.
says you need a ticket? Just walk into the lobby like, I'm here for the VR thing. I'm not here for a movie, guys. I'm here for that.
ticket to get in.
I doubt it. Just be like, hey, fuck
You need a
off.
ticket.
Fuck off.
It's really night and day here between like just multiplex chains and a fucking draft house or an AFS theater or Violet Crown or I don't even Galaxy Highland. I think are cooler, but
It's like one of the other things that came out of E3 this week, and this is something that I've looked into and almost experienced. There's this company called VeerZoom, which is one of the VR fitness pioneers. They have an exercise bike already on the market. It costs $400. It sounds ridiculous because it kind of is, but then if you look up exercise bikes, like they're kind of that price anyway. And if you buy this, you get this free app. You get the free app regardless. And basically, it tries to take an exercise bike and make it fun. Like it turns into a video game, and it gives you the ability to actually like be in an environment where you're not just standing in front of a room, like maybe on your iPad or looking at a TV screen, but actually feeling like you are truly riding a bike somewhere, or even like rowing a boat or like riding a horse. But that's an expensive bike, like I said, $400. So what they're putting out later this year is a $99 module that you can attach to any bike, and it converts it into a compatible machine. So this is really cool. It's going to be available on PSVR as it already is, and also HTC and Oculus Rift, all the headsets that are available, but it's actually going to be adding support for Gear VR and Google Daydream. The real cool thing, too, is that it's going to support Gear watches, so it's going to take your heart rate monitoring and like tie that into your actual workout in some way. Hopefully there's some kind of companion app. The only downside is the $400 bike actually has controllers built into like the hand grips, right? If you buy this module, you have to hold the controller like an actual controller in your hands, which is going to definitely limit the immersion. But even still, this is really cool. Like, it's still outside my window. I don't have a problem getting on an actual exercise bike and riding for an hour. But for people that are less, fitness savvy, for people that need some kind of jolt, like the people that bought Wii Fit boards and played Dance Dance Revolution while I played that.
Right.
I bought DJ Hero yesterday actually, because I got a good deal. Fucking 10. I
Because
could have got it.
Of course you would.
The turntable with the wireless dongle with the game. The guy wanted 10. I said 5, and then I was drunk and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll give him 10." I sent him PayPal. I was like, I gave him 10.69 actually. I gave him all of my PayPal money, because why not? I felt like being a nice guy. The real VR thing that happens this week. It didn't actually happen this week. It's kind of fucking crazy. I was gonna send it as a video during the show so you could watch it, because it's like a minute. You could look it up and find it. But basically, this guy, Dean John, the head of innovation at Brandwidth, a UK technology company, broke his world record for time spent in VR last week. He, prior to this record-breaking attempt, did 24 hours alone consistently in virtual reality. Now he's done it 48 hours with a partner. They did all kinds of fucking shit. They're riding biplanes and walking on the wings. They went go-karting. He got a tattoo. He wore a headset to sleep and woke up in VR. Watching movies, watching porn, like all kinds of things for science. They walked like tens of thousands of steps. Like when on for the go-kart in particular, they had a pass-through camera on their Gear VR headsets where they saw the real world and were still driving that way. The tattoo in particular is probably the interesting thing. I guess he's an Apple fanboy, so he got like an iPhone or an Apple like insignia tattooed on his forearm. He did most of it in virtual reality. He had a headset on, and he was wearing a heart rate sensor. His heart rate was lower when he was in virtual reality. When he took it off, when he came back to the real world, it like skyrocketed. He said that his like pain threshold was lower, that he wasn't as in tune with what was happening in the real world. Like, there's a little video. I think this might even become like a long form thing. I hope so. Like this is like grounds for a documentary. It's just so interesting. I can't imagine doing this. Like they would take, I think, like a 10-minute break every hour or something, especially like when they're doing more physical challenging things like walking flights of stairs and, as I said, like go-karts and riding on planes and shit. I just can't even imagine doing this. Like they said, the girl who did it with him, she had like a bruise on the bridge of her nose after doing this for like a week or something, because you're not supposed to wear something on your face for that long, even glasses, you know? And yeah, it just...
I mean, yeah, a glass is at least half a day where you don't, right?
Yeah. Well, and even on top of that, it's not 100% weighted just on the bridge of your nose. Like, PSVR is not. Like, the weight distribution is really good. That's also tethered. They weren't using that. Like, they did use all of the major headsets, but they primarily use Gear VR because they are out in the real world. They needed something completely mobile, and that is no. Like, that is not meant for long play sessions. Like that is strictly like a 30 minutes to an hour type of thing. Like I got no problem doing PSVR for like an hour and a half now. I don't do it, but I can do it, you know?
Even then, like, I don't know, I was in there at your place for what, like
an hour,
roughly that long?
Yeah.
Maybe a little more. It wasn't a problem for me.
No, it's not a problem. Like it feels really good. Not on your face, but just you almost feel like you're not wearing it, which is the thing. I have like, what is it? It's called a Utopia
for me, it's more
VR.
Like it got a little itchy, but I do the same thing with my glasses where I kind of just rub them a little bit, like at the bridge, just to adjust them.
Yeah,
it might just be a nervous habit. I don't know.
My Utopia VR, which is like a cardboard, which is fancier. That thing hurts my nose big time. Cardboard is not resting on your face at all, so it doesn't hurt
not
at all.
Pleasant,
but
no,
but
you get what
it doesn't
you
feel
for
nice.
In that case.
Exactly. $400 is obviously going to be better than $20. Like, of course, that's just how.
Or $5.
Yeah, that's how technology works. That's how the economy works. It costs. You pay a premium for a reason. Here's some follow up though on things that happened not too long ago. This one is also about Sony. I'm sure you're seeing where this is going. Last week they came under flack for doing their clean version initiative, basically their censorship movies available on Vudu and Fandango Now and iTunes. You buy the movie.
Way, I tested that today.
Yeah.
For like a little bit. I just watched segments of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
What the fuck did they take out? What could they have taken out?
I wanted to see how they handled the Gwen Stacy moment, which, not to spoil it, although I'm sure it's common knowledge at this point, but like what happens at the very end. I was just curious to see what that shot looked like.
Did they take the blood out, or?
All they did was just crop it. Like, they zoom it in so that you barely see or hear anything. But yeah, the impact is lost, and it's weird. But then again, I'm sure they would have done the same thing if they air it on TV. So
maybe.
It's like, I honestly... you can actually keep going. I've got more opinions on this later on.
Well, this is the thing. It's already being killed. They had 24 movies last week. It is now 17. Adam McKay's films and Adam Sandler's have been removed, probably because they are big directors or actors, stars at Sony who have many pictures set up or big hits. So Step Brothers, Anchorman, Pixels, 50 First Dates. And like 50 First Dates, why would that even be on this list in the first place? Like it's a PG-13 movie with very minor sex comedy. It is primarily a romance about someone who has like a severe disorder and forgets everything, you know?
Well, here's my thing of just like I said last week of what this is. These are just TV versions of movies. Like
But
it's being moved to
I'm okay
a
with that.
streaming platform, which I'm cool
This
with that.
is
So I don't know why this is
this
such a
is the
huge
problem.
deal.
The DGA got involved because Sony did not contact the directors to oversee the cuts for streaming. When they do the TV version,
Does the
they
same
do
thing
that.
happen with TV?
Yeah. So they did not get approval. Like a director is brought in to make these changes. That is why Adam McKay and Adam Sandler got these pulled off. Seth Rogen and Judd Apatow are also very against these, are unlikely to have their films added to this canon because they have spoken out about it on Twitter.
Really, what would Sausage Party look like on that?
I still don't know what it looks like anyway.
You should still see it.
I will. It's on
mean,
Netflix. It's on Netflix.
I really do think it's brilliant.
I tried to watch it. It's on Netflix.
I know you did.
I own
if
it.
It's not your jam. That's
I
a bummer,
own it.
But
I think I bought it. It was one of my free Sony movies because if you buy a Sony phone, you get 3 free movies. I got Groundhog Day and I think I got Sausage Party. So
it's
I
one
do
of the
own
better
it.
written movies of last year.
I couldn't get through that first 30 minutes.
I know. That really makes me sad to hear that. I really think it's brilliant.
I don't know. I'll give it another shot. Okay. But yeah, I'm happy.
Might not be your brand of humor.
I really just think it isn't. I'm happy that this happened though. I'm happy that Guilds got involved, that Sony at least is listening to their directors. All 5 Spider-Man movies are still on there. They're gonna stay there. You already know that. It's their baby. I'm sure like
Elysium is still on there. I really want to watch that entire movie like that. I
think
don't know why.
the 21
I just do.
I think the 21 Jump Street movies are gonna stay too, just because Men in Black. Like they're big hits because why not? Because it is a good idea. You know, it's like you said, it is a TV
it's
version.
a TV version. I don't mind that, honestly.
It is the airplane version.
If some people really, really want that, then that's fine. Yeah, like, do directors even get to make choices on how to crop out stuff for airplane versions of movies? Like,
I'm not sure if that's necessarily it, but they probably
'Cause I
get
know,
like a
like-
list of we're changing this to this, we're going to do this and that, and they go
well, it's
yes,
like when
yes,
you see
no,
something on
yes,
TV,
no.
there's always that thing of like, this version has been altered for time or for content, and like also the image has been adjusted to fit this screen. They do that still with movies on TV on 16:9. Yeah, when you do it on Vudu for the clean version, it just says this has been edited for adult content or whatever it is. Like just like they say, and they all say the same thing. So it really does feel like a TV version of the movie, just
Like,
without
I should
commercials.
check my Vudu. I might have a film that is there, and I'm not going to ever watch it. But I'm curious if any of mine, because I don't. Out of the films I have on Vudu, I think the only Sony ones I have are Final Fantasy.
I should rewatch that movie actually.
You know what I saw the other day? Dread is so fucking cheap on Amazon now. It's like $3.75 on Blu-ray.
Oh my, the Blu-ray?
Yeah.
Okay, I got no choice. That's like the price of a rental at this point.
You don't
But,
own it? Like, check Amazon.
I don't.
If
no.
check
By the way,
Amazon, get it right
Moneyball
now.
is no longer up in the clean
Good.
version.
Good.
Yeah,
That should have never
so
had a
that's-
clean version.
Yeah, that's no longer an option.
I think they say fuck
there's
like
some
5 times. Like,
There's some cussing in there,
Yeah.
but so what? I mean, that's. Yeah. No. Oh wait. Actually, I'm just realizing because I'm looking through my library right now, and they used to have that banner saying, "Oh, the clean version of Moneyball is still up." So never mind.
Yeah, lame.
Yeah, the front cover of these, just while I'm scrolling through them, they would say, "Hey, the clean version's available," and I literally got to click on the movie to see that now.
yeah, I'm going to check my
But
app
yeah,
right now.
Spider-Man
I'm looking
is
at my Vudu.
there. Elysium is there. What else is Sony?
You said check the Jump Street movies.
Yeah, I don't have those,
have
but
those.
yeah. Okay, Skyfall, I can't see. Oh wait, but Fox put those out. I have Bad Boys 2 on here. I would love a clean version
Fuck
of that, just
no.
cause, like, because it'd be so fucking ridiculous. Half Nelson. Half Nelson was. Whatever happened to Think Film?
I don't even know what that is.
Like,
So that answers
yeah,
that.
it was like a little independent studio from like way back in the day, 10 years ago. They just fucking disappeared.
Yeah, the only Sony films I have in my Vudu, I have. I got Forgetting Sarah Marshall, iRobot, yeah, and then Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
Yeah, there's no clean version for Superbad, thank God. Which, of course, we said that.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Um, yeah, that'd be stupid.
That'd be so
But yeah,
stupid.
okay, all the Spider-Man movies have
Hmm.
them, and Elysium and Moneyball from what I got. So that is that.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-look up this Dread pricing because I have something in my cart on Amazon. I'm gonna buy it because it's gonna be a selection on the show because I've talked about it before. I have Detention in my Amazon cart. I'm gonna buy that shit. Yeah, it's 375 or 374 actually. It's an add-on item now though. When I bought it, it wasn't.
For Dread,
For yeah, a 3D Blu-ray with good special features. I watched them. It's 374. That's nothing. The only catch is you have to buy $25 worth of shit to get it, but you know.
oh, okay. Yeah, okay, so it's an add-on item?
It's well, it is now because it's that cheap. It wouldn't make. Imagine someone just wanting that, and you
Well,
have
you know,
Prime. That
what's
means
kind of
like
stupid is
you
that
know,
I actually saw that the Changeling on DVD was available at that price, and I was like,
is that
oh,
an
fuck
add-on
yeah, I want
too?
to get that, but it's an add-on. And I was like, wait, so if I
It
literally just want this movie, I have to buy
well,
something else? The only way
it
that this
should
movie
be
is available?
expected that if it's under $5, it has to be add-on. Just in terms of being Prime, think about it. If you already get free shipping, they're losing money sending you that one thing. And so
Still,
it's
it's
their way of
insane
staying in
though, but
business even
yeah.
though they don't have to. Because like I'm in the same boat. I see that the jerk is like at all-time low for DVD price. It's $4. I know you haven't seen
Hmm.
that. It's an add-on item too. So I have like Detention because it's under $7 right now, and the jerk, and I still need to buy $15 worth of shit. And like I'm gonna get it for free because I have like some cash back on my Discover card. So I might as well just
It's
like
like,
load up my cart right now and buy some stuff. But I'm
I'm
like
looking
I
at my
don't want
wish
to.
list, and it's like I see that La La Land and A Monster Calls are like $20, but at the same time, I'm like, I want to wait for Black Friday for those. Like, I
Or
just don't need to
Cyber
buy them
Monday or
instantly because I'm not going to
Prime
rewatch them
Day.
right away. I'm just not in the mood
Like what
to
I'm
do it
probably
right
gonna
away.
buy is a an HDMI splitter and a four-way RCA switch. Those are probably gonna be the two things
Man,
I buy because I really need both of those things.
I'm looking at my wish list right now, and Criterion needs to do another sale because I just want to watch the Blu-ray for things to come.
They
That movie is
announced
so
the
good.
new ones.
Yeah, for September.
Fuck, what was it?
Armageddon is still not
It
on
was like
there.
Rebecca
Yeah, which they got back,
and
which is cool. Even though there's already a Blu-ray of that, like
I
they're
forget what
getting
the
all
other one is.
their Hitchcock stuff back. They're getting it's crazy. All their stuff that used to be out of print, like Straw Dogs. Like I'm sure it won't be long till Criterion puts out their own version of Spartacus.
Wait, no, they
So
already
when the
have a
hell are they going to
Spartacus.
get Armageddon
I think they already have a Spartacus.
on Blu-ray?
No, but
No, yeah. See, like there's a new restoration I think of Spartacus on 4K, but I think Universal put that out. But yeah, they could very well release that at some point because they're getting a lot of their out of print stuff. They got Straw Dogs back, which I think comes out in August.
I mean, the
Um,
copy that I saw of that wasn't too bad. Like it had some artifacts, but
like
I
yeah, I
doubt
saw
the
that Blu-ray,
Blu-ray is
but
gonna
I'm
look
sure
that
no
great.
this new one will look way better though.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll look a lot more filmic because I saw the MGM Blu-ray and I own the Criterion
I
DVD, which is a good
if you
looking
got
DVD
the
from
money,
back then. But
buy the before box set. Even though I've only seen
oh yeah, no,
Sunrise,
no, for sure.
so pretty.
But dude, like
It's expensive.
they're digging a ton of their stuff that's out of print from like the 90s when they put that out. When the hell is Armageddon going to come up
It's
on
not
that?
happening.
I want it.
Like just in the same
Make
way
it
that
happen.
RoboCop is not going to get a Criterion release.
Make that happen too.
It's
I would
not
love
going to
it.
happen. It doesn't have to
It
happen.
would be amazing.
The 4K,
And this is Spinal Tap and The Silence of the Lambs and Hardboiled because Hardboiled needs a fucking good release.
the 4K RoboCop Blu-ray I got, or the 4K Master, is the Criterion copy. It is the unrated, and it has all of the Criterion special features. I just want the steel case because that just it looks special. I bought a T-shirt this
You know-
week. I bought it yesterday. It's coming in the mail. It looks awesome. Because
Nice.
I was watching the movie and I was like, fuck, why don't I have a RoboCop T-shirt? I'm wearing my Teen Wolf shirt, and I'm like, why don't I have a RoboCop shirt? I was like, okay, I'll just do it. I found one.
I figured you did, honestly,
Right?
but
Nope.
I guess not.
Now I do. It's in the mail.
I just learned that about
It's
you.
in the
Now
mail.
you do.
It's in the mail.
Man, I am realizing now that it's 2 a.m. my time, and my caffeine tolerance is so low that this thing is really giving me a kick right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty up. Here's
Yeah.
something pretty good. Justice League had such a big turnaround, like fuck. So following Joss Whedon taking over directorial duties and post-production, they now have a composer. Junkie XL is off the project. It's Danny Elfman. So they went from Junkie XL and Zack Snyder to Danny Elfman and Joss Whedon.
That
That's
actually
like,
worries me a little.
like what the fuck? Like
Yeah,
that's
that kind of worries. I like
that's
Junkie XL.
pantheon of. I'm sure they're still going to use his themes, especially Wonder Woman, but that's the pantheon of superhero movies right there. Just those two plus Zack Snyder. Like that's it. Like Danny Elfman did Batman. He did Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like
Oh fuck.
he created the iconic, like besides the original Superman, he created the iconic superhero themes, and now he's doing Justice League.
Here's a good thing potentially about this. Like,
Uh-huh.
Danny Elfman can make good themes that are like hummable, like the one for Batman.
Or
It's
Dark
like,
Universe.
"Da-na-na-na-na." I mean, yeah, if he does like a good Justice League theme, like-
because Marvel
yeah, like,
doesn't
just,
have
just a good
themes.
Justice League theme. That's what we need. I mean, Alan Silvestri did a pretty good one. It wasn't continuously utilized, so like they're inconsistent with that. But yeah, actually, is he coming back for Infinity War? I think so.
I don't
We
know.
reported that, right?
The point is, Marvel doesn't have one film that has a theme that anyone, even a fanboy, can sing. There's actually there is a YouTube video for this. Is that Captain America?
No,
Oh,
that's
that's-
Avengers.
Is that the opening? I don't fucking know.
No, the main Avengers theme that's used in there, which
Like
by the way, yeah, he's coming back
fanfare
to score it.
for
So
the
yes, there's
opening-
there's a decent theme in like
The
for
opening
the Avengers, and then it
fanfare-
just wasn't used in Ultron.
The
But-
opening fanfare is good. I do like that theme that Giacchino did. But there's a good video that was like big on the internet like 5 months ago where it's like, yeah, why can't you sing a single Marvel theme?
I'm a really big fan of Patrick Doyle's score for Thor, but I mean, the parts of that score that I love are the quieter moments. Like that rooftop scene, like just the music there that's happening in that movie is fucking incredible. But yeah, like the big action beats, like, it's not exactly a very big, robust, like heroic movie. It's really just like the nicer, small moments of that movie they're really fucking beautifully scored. But yeah, not something that you would want to remember from a tentpole.
It's like John Landis did this interview last week that Max Landis retweeted, but I saw before he did that. He's like, holy shit, am I becoming my dad? Or is my dad becoming me? Because John Landis is like going the rounds right now. Like he's doing like BFI stuff because like Blues Brothers is getting
There's
a
a lot
lot
of
of
stuff
love
going on
because
there,
of the
yeah.
car chases and Baby Drivers, kind of catapulting that fame. But he has this block quote, which is just awesome. And he's talking about MCU movies. Where he's like, truthfully, I'm bored shitless with the Marvel Universe now. All the superhero movies tend to be interchangeable. You always have these mass destruction of cities and huge computer-generated extravaganzas to the point where you could just take any reel of any of the Marvel superhero movies and put it in any of the others and nobody would notice. They're very well made. It's just they're the same thing over and over again. But I don't know. People are
Honestly,
showing up.
like,
One of the reasons Wonder Woman has been so well received by the critics is that it doesn't destroy cities.
yes, by us.
Even
the
the
final battle there was
superhero,
about something.
yeah, even the superhero stuff is on a very human scale. It's the gods. We're just not seeing skyscrapers tumbling. And he's like laughing through that stuff.
Honestly, that's not just Marvel though. I mean,
Yeah,
to me,
of
that's
course.
blockbusters. Like the moment that you can pinpoint it, where stuff just becomes less and less thrilling, it's post Avengers.
It's
like right after
it's
2012.
post-Transformers.
Like
'Cause
which one?
The second one. Because the first Transformers was still groundbreaking. Literally, it broke a lot of ground. And that's the summer right before the Dark Knight. But in a post
The
like
third
Dark Knight,
Transformers, to
Transformers
me, that one
2
started
world.
the trend of this giant fucking laser beam, like being shot into the sky that opens up this teleporter where people
Ghostbusters.
come flooding in. And then fucking Avengers is probably the apex of that like made that perfect. But then everything after Avengers, it started to get a little bit more repetitive. Like around 2013, that's when I started realizing just how tired of senseless destruction I was. Like, with Man of Steel, where there was literally like, even after the entire thing is done, then there's this 7-minute long battle that's just about
Bullshit.
making shit look cool and destroying
making
everything, and it
skyscrapers
killed.
rain.
Yeah, and it's like it causes even more destruction than everything thrilling that happened before then.
It
was
might
like,
have been-
felt so insignificant that it was awful. I
That's
mean,
the
and even
best
Star Trek
thing.
Into Darkness literally just has a moment where they fucking crash a ship into a major city block and then just skate over it like it's nothing.
Like,
Fucking
that
and then yeah, like
Batman
after
versus
those
Superman
two,
thing might have been
shit like that
shoehorned
kept
in.
happening.
it might have been like laughed at by a lot of people when that movie came out, but at least like DC knew what the fuck they did wrong and they tried to fix it, and they made it organic.
Oh yeah, no, I
to
thought
the
they made it
plot.
a good plot point
Right?
as
It's
far
like
as justifying that.
why does Superman need to die? Because he did this. He destroyed the cities. It's never gonna happen again.
But it was a freaking terrible 7 minutes that were just there, like, because
I'm gonna
they
look up at
literally-
the sky real angrily. Look at my face. I made it.
within
Geely.
those 7 minutes, they just set everything up. Like they shoehorn in a Bruce Wayne reference, they shoehorn in a LexCorp reference, like everything that they can throw in there while they're throwing shit at each
Oh,
other.
you mean
and
the
causing
fight scene?
Way more
Hey,
destruction before
on
then.
the plus side, though, when I saw it for the first time, when I saw Man of Steel for the first time, I was like, "Holy shit, that's LexCorp! Holy shit, that's
Yeah,
a
that
Wayne
whole battle's
Enterprise
about Easter
satellite!"
eggs. It's fucking. I love that movie, but those 7 minutes, like
I have the Blu-ray
you know,
now. I need to rewatch it because I've never seen it in HD. Wait, have I? No, I haven't seen it in HD.
I don't know. It's honestly like it's an incredible movie. I mean, those opening minutes in Krypton are still like probably some of the best blockbuster filmmaking of this decade for me.
Yeah, I heard someone else say
just
that
as far as like
recently.
inducing genuine wonder and really sucking you into
Plus
a
the
movie.
theme.
To me, they're that good. Yeah.
Plus the fucking
like it
theme.
just has this very like ethereal feel to it, and like it feels almost transportive, like just how it gets you into that world of Krypton. So good. But then yeah, like it literally is like after that and fucking Star Trek, and then just at some point I started getting tired of blockbusters. I don't know what else to say on that.
I mean, I'm getting there too. I think a lot of people are. That's why.
Well, it's like, I'm
it's harder and
literally-
harder for them to make money. Like even Cars
There's-
3 is struggling. Pirates struggled. Like unless it's
yeah,
like,
like I'm not even trying to. Someone called me like several people are saying that I'm a contrarian.
don't you love that term? Isn't contrarian a good word?
It's like I have opinions. I'm just honest about it. I don't shit on stuff like for the sake of it, but I'm realizing like I am getting more excited about small stuff for trailers that I see, and now I'm just like,
The Big Sick. Baby
yeah.
Driver.
Even then, I'm just like, fuck yeah. I don't. That's probably more mid ground, but
Dunkirk.
I mean, yeah, like. Dunkirk I will see because
you have
Christopher
to.
Nolan's one of those guys.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
You have to see it in
Like-
70
I will.
millimeter
No,
IMAX.
I will. But
You
I mean,
have
Christopher
to.
Nolan is one of those guys that's up there to me now with like Ridley Scott, where it's like I probably have seen my favorite movie of theirs already.
I don't
like
believe
from
that.
now
I
on.
think-
I don't care what it
like,
is.
I don't
I
think
will at least see
Dunkirk-
whatever they make in theaters because I'm sure it will be interesting.
I don't think Dunkirk is going to beat The Prestige, but
No, it'll be worth it. The spectacle of that will be worth it. It'll be something interesting. Like I'm convinced now, like at least that he's doing a war movie his way, and that is.
I have to
enough for me
believe,
speak.
unless he gets a James Bond, which is highly likely, he may
hope
return
so. I
to
would
his
love that.
roots. That he may put down the gauntlet and decide to go small again. Like he might make a like a Book of Henry, even though that has not been the most well received film recently. I would just think that him and Emma would want to like slow things down, kind of go, why don't we make like a mid-budget movie? Why do we have to make this huge thing? Maybe
Like just do
a
a secret movie in between production and post, like Joss Whedon did.
like they're not gonna do Netflix because that's not Chris Nolan, the dude that doesn't even
the
own
way-
a cell phone.
Can I read you this awesome poster quote that is photoshopped? I see it on my Twitter feed right now from Book of Henry.
Go for it.
One time my mom caught me jerking off, and that was less embarrassing than Book of Henry.
What?
From Scott Wampler at Birth Movies Death.
It's like there's so many people on the internet that are giving that film a bad name, and I
know,
still want to
it's like,
see
I
it. I'm
still wanna
curious.
see it.
It's
Yeah,
like part of
I-
it's the cast, but then also like I liked Safety Not Guaranteed. I didn't love Jurassic World, but speaking of that,
But yeah, and we are
reviewed
talking
that
about
2
like a
years ago
director
today.
who's going to do a Star Wars movie 2 years from
Yeah.
now, and he's going back to doing something small.
Well, that's even what's crazier than that is he finished Book of Henry before Jurassic World was done. It was just sitting on a shelf for the last year and a half.
Okay, that's not good then.
So they
Like,
waited.
that really isn't
I
good.
think they
That's
waited
not a
for
good
him to
sign.
get the Star Wars movie to distribute it. I think that's what I read online. But people were like, "Oh, is Star Wars in trouble? Should they hire someone?" Like, it's like not every movie really means that
mean,
it's your like. Not every movie relies on the last. That's like
I feel like it's almost a predictable cycle where because Ryan Johnson is, a better storyteller than Abrams or Trevorrow at this point, he's probably going to have the best one.
Yeah.
It's literally going to be like, okay, or Star Wars, then Empire, then Jedi. Like, it seems like his is predetermined to be like Jedi, where
Just in
people
the name
are just
alone.
gonna, yeah, they're just gonna tear it apart and then like, I don't know. Like it seems like it's set up in that format. I don't know.
Imagine they brought the Ewoks back.
I'd be cool with it.
That'd be so fucking
I'd
weird.
like to see what those guys are
I
up
would
to.
like to see Old Man Wicket, to be honest. Just Wicket. Just him.
Yeah.
Something.
See him kick some ass. You could make an Ewok kick some ass with some CG.
Imagine Jar
And people would
Jar
love it
and,
if you do it
and
right.
Wicket teamed up. They got a buddy movie. I would pay to see that shit. That would be awesome.
You know who should direct that? Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg.
Or how about what's his name that did Howard the Duck?
What's he up to?
Nothing. He retired from filmmaking because Howard the Duck. This one's pretty good. Our last little piece of follow-up. As an early sign that the industry is maybe taking all these hacks that have been happening seriously, over 30 production houses and studios have joined forces to create ACE, the Alliance for Creativity and Entertainment. It's an anti-piracy group. There's not much known about it, but this is like Fox, Netflix, I think like Amazon, like Disney, like all the people. And basically the idea is that they're going to be able to turn the tide on piracy, which is highly unlikely. But the way I see it is they understand that there is a reason to be alarmed, and at least they're embracing that instead of going, nah, just put our shows out there. We don't give a shit. What's the worst that can happen? Which was the stupidest thing they could have ever done.
Well, that is Disney being really fucking cocky.
And
where they're
Netflix.
Like, we make money, so whatever.
And look at Orange is the New Black and Netflix. Like this isn't just a one studio thing. That's why they're banding together. But man, like this is a little too late. I don't know how this is gonna, like piracy isn't what it used to be. Like it's not like you don't see people selling bootleg DVDs anymore. You know, like it's not that
No.
anymore.
There's still flea markets like
Sure
that.
there are, but
not the
it's all
same
digital
thing.
now, and even still, I don't think.
Like now you can literally just stream it off your phone on the spot if you want.
Yeah,
You could pull up Cars 3 and watch it on the fucking like,
please do it that way
subway.
because else no one else is gonna watch it. I'm surprised that beat one.
I'm not going to endorse
I'm
that,
surprised
but you
it
can
beat
go
Wonder
for it if you
Woman.
want.
Like seriously,
I'm not,
very surprised.
No, I'm not. Wonder Woman's 3 weeks in. The fact that it's as high as it is right now, like from the box office perspective, that's really good for that movie. But hey, Cars 3 coming out like the first weekend where all kids are out of school this summer.
I guess that's fair.
Like for it to kick off like that, that's a respectable number. It's not a huge hit, but that's a decent number for that. You know that next week or 2 weeks from now, Despicable Me 3 is going to be way fucking bigger.
Spider-Man's gonna beat Despicable Me.
Well, yeah, is that the same weekend?
Yeah, isn't it aren't they both the 7th?
I think Despicable Me is next weekend or like whatever
No,
the last
yeah,
weekend
no,
of
yeah,
June
it's
is.
Despicable Me is
Yeah.
a week before, because
And
they
this
wouldn't
is
want to go up
Transformers.
against the bug.
Don't
They're not
fucking
gonna
make
squish
so
the
much
bug.
money.
Hey, we're supposed to go see it. We got the free ticket. Well, $4 ticket.
Yeah.
But IMAX
Yeah,
3D for
Despicable
$4.
Me is the last weekend of June, so it's on the 30th, and then Spider-Man's a week after.
This summer season kind of sucks. It's funny that Mummy is #1 internationally.
Honestly, for small stuff, like it's been pretty great, at least for the stuff that I've been seeing. But it's not really stuff that people have been talking about. Like, freaking. I mean, yeah, I've been having a great time seeing somewhat new releases. I feel like it's sad that not many people are talking about A Dark Song or even I saw actually I did see one movie over the week because I had time. But
A Dark Song I actually recommended to someone, even though I haven't seen it. When I saw RoboCop,
you haven't seen it?
Of course I haven't seen it. Why would I see it? Well, how would I even see it? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Is there not a theater in LA?
I'm not gonna track it down,
also,
man. Like
I
see
saw
it
It
on...
Comes at Night over the week.
Oh, did you?
I fucking loved it. I swear, like I'm just really digging horror this year. It's insane. Like I might have a bias, but like yeah, it's just it
I have
was
a feeling
really up my alley.
I have a feeling I'm gonna have a really good Halloween this year. I'm gonna have so many things to pick from that it's like I'm still gonna do like classics that I haven't seen and remakes for things that I have seen and
We're
make some
probably gonna
sequels.
talk about stuff on the show.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be good ones. Here's Do You Want to Know More, or the last version of it, or at least for this run of the show. And it starts with a guy we, of course, are familiar with. Kevin Smith is shooting a movie right now. It's a horror anthology film called Kilroy Was Here. And what the coolest part about this is that it's a collaboration with Florida's Ringling College of Art and Design. And so it's basically his way of giving back to film students. It's like just students are working on the project with him. It's funded in part with the school. I'm sure it's going to get some kind of like road show on college campuses or something. But how cool would that be, even though he's not like the biggest name in filmmaking or, to be honest, like the most acclaimed director, just to be able to work with him when you're beginning
He's
your
been
career.
good about like interacting with film students.
Oh, for sure. Like, Kevin Smith
He did that
Speaks.
on his podcast too. There was this thing, I can't remember what the name of the spinoff was, but he would go to
Yeah, it was
campuses
called,
and like just. It wasn't Smoothie Makers. It was.
Oh, I was thinking it's Movie Makers.
I can't remember, but I mean, they were really good. You know, he did like basically roundtable discussions with these, these film students,
Well,
and they had really good conversations. Like I was really
look
into it at
at
the time while I was in film
The
school.
3 Evening with Kevin Smith movies / concert films, whatever you want to call it, most of those were on college campuses.
Oh yeah.
So he's...
And one of them got shut down, which was funny.
Which one is that?
I think that's
Was that
I don't
number
know,
two?
that's on the first one. One of the discs end where the guys number 2 they went to Toronto and to London.
Because that's the one that I have on DVD that I've never watched.
Yeah, I have that. I might still
Evening
have that
Harder.
one. Yeah, but the first one, I think they went to Cornell, and I think someone pops out at the end and says that they got a union board tells them to shut down the thing, and then people just start booing. I don't know if it's because they were in overtime, but
Knowing Kevin
yeah,
Smith,
like
it
you could probably
was.
find the clip on YouTube too.
I'll watch those eventually.
I don't know. Maybe he was just pissing somebody off. It's on Netflix, isn't it?
I doubt
Or it
it.
was?
They're probably on YouTube.
No, there were a ton of clips on YouTube way back, like 10 years ago, like when I was getting into my Kevin Smith phase. They might even still be up. But yeah, that's how I first heard about the John Peters Superman story.
Well,
And
I've seen that
the whole
so
Tim
much.
Burton thing. Like those clips.
Plus, I
have been
mean,
up
I've
there for a
seen
while,
that.
I'm sure.
I've seen that fucking documentary too. So
Yeah, but the Evening with story, that's probably the best one.
Well, he retells that story in a documentary. Like that, the documentaries basically stem from that story. They're like, oh, how can we actually turn this? And
yeah, but when he has an audience to laugh along with it, and it feels like stand up.
well, when you actually get
it's
to
just way
see,
more entertaining.
not the picture, but when you get to see the actual test
The
footage
storyboards
of
and
the
all that.
suits with Nicolas Cage in it with the long hair, that is worth that
That's
watch.
actually on there?
Yes, that is worth.
Okay, where is this? I gotta watch it.
I don't know if it's on the internet. Just watch the movie. Watch The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. It's not the best documentary, but it is a very interesting one. And it has a lot of good interviews, including Tim Burton, which is impossible to do. I still don't know how they got that done.
Wow.
And it really goes into everything. They have like previses, they have like storyboards, they have animations done from storyboards. They go through the whole thing. Like it is a very interesting just chronicle. Like it could have made a podcast. Like if they didn't want to do a movie, and they probably would have made a lot more money if they had done that somehow. But yeah, check that out. Like not in terms of being a good documentary, but important Kevin Smith history, important like blockbuster history, DC history, Tim Burton history, etc. Really interesting. So yeah, I don't know what this film's going to be about. Kuro is here, but I'm sure I'll get around to it eventually. Kind of like his holidays film, whenever I get around to that. The other one is superhero related, going from Superman to X-Men. Simon Kinberg is officially directing X-Men Dark Phoenix. I guess that's a yay. Who gives a fuck?
Main producer /
Writer,
somewhat active writer /
becoming
I guess
director.
now first time director. Okay, well he's been on movie sets enough that he knows how things work and what to do. But
It's coming out this time next year, though.
I don't know. It's like, the thing about tentpoles like this. Usually the director announcements tend to be more inspiring choices of like names that we can trust that are going to try to produce quality.
Less and
So if
less.
you're
Like
throwing in
look at the very first guy that they had attached to the Flash. I've never directed a movie before. I'm going to make that one.
Rick Fuyang.
No,
Oh wait, no,
the
that
first guy. Yeah, we're
guy.
talking about.
what's it, Seth Graham Smith. Yeah,
yeah.
but how did that turn out? Then they were like, yeah, maybe not. But I mean, yeah, usually it's like someone up and coming or someone that we know has an artistic vision. So, I mean, yeah, in this case, like I don't know what Simon Kinberg. Not saying he's a bad filmmaker,
weird bet,
but
though.
director,
Yeah,
kind of a weird.
I mean,
choice.
Jessica Chastain may play the villain, which may be good, especially because
Well,
the
then,
X-Men
I mean,
films
they set
usually
the
have.
release date for next
ones.
year, right?
Yeah,
So
There's-
is he gonna have that producer mentality where he just tries to rush it out?
these are being
fast?
rushed out. They're putting 3 X-Men movies out next year. They have Dark Phoenix. They have the New Mutants.
But this was just announced,
Yeah.
earlier
yeah,
this
well,
year.
all 3 of them were.
That's really fucking
Deadpool
fast.
2, New Mutants, and Dark Phoenix. All 3 are coming next year. Probably also Legion Season 2. Probably that Deadpool animated show. Like, X-Men is the train that Fox can't stop. Sure, there's gonna be video games and VR tie-ins and God knows what else.
And I feel like we reached the peak. It might dwindle at that point.
What I hope
Like,
happens.
I don't know. Do you think Deadpool 2 will be that big?
It's
I'm not
gonna
so
be
sure.
big. They're already teasing it. Like you have pictures of Josh
The
Brolin.
teasers are fun. I
in-
just don't know if it feels like a one-trick pony. I'm worried it's going to be repetitive.
It's like
but-
Josh Brolin's already posting pictures in the gym with his new haircut, and you got like Ryan Reynolds in front of the X Mansion, so they're probably already mid-production. I just hope that this Dark Phoenix movie actually takes place in the 90s, because then it would almost line up with the X3 timeline, and it would almost make sense. Like, it's not scatterbrained in the way that it is. But who knows? I don't know. Last little news here is just because that Tupac movie just came out. R.J. Cyler of Me and Earl and the Dying Girl fame and Power Rangers is next up on the
Yay.
hip-hop biopic train. He's set to play Two Live Crew leader Luther Campbell. The funny news item about this is apparently his parents met and fell in love at a Two Live Crew concert, so he is almost born to play this role. This is going to be kind of like Straight Outta Compton meets The People versus Larry Flint. So, I don't know. It's going to... Because it basically... If you're not familiar with Two Live Crew, which were like one of the first big rap groups that had like super sexually provocative music, they had to like beat a court case where they were able to prove that their music was like parody, and they didn't get in trouble for like recycling like lyricism / like melody. But hey, he's a good actor. He's not in much, even if he was in Power Rangers.
Oh, and RJ, how do you pronounce his
I think
last
it's
name
I think it's
again?
Siler.
Siler or Kyler? Yeah, I mean, good rising star, man. Like, you know,
But
if he's
great
leading
in Me and
something now,
Earl.
like, hopefully this could be a breakout. Yeah, yeah. Even, I mean, you know, even if it's not, I don't know, the most authentic
I'm just the black friend
depiction
that likes
of
lollipops.
autism, like, you know, he was
Oh,
still
you're talking
fun to
about Power
watch.
Rangers.
in
Never
that.
mind. I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about Me and Earl. Why don't you love her, girl. You love that girl. I need to rewatch that.
Is that me and Earl?
Yeah,
That would.
that's my little impression.
That's really.
Yeah. Like all I remember about that movie is like him always like eating food. Like that's it.
But I own that movie now.
Like
by the way,
that was like a
$4 DVD at Target.
that's a good deal.
But it was worth it.
Even
yeah,
if
like
it's a
I
DVD.
rewatched that last year, and it was
Just
it really hit me a lot
the
more.
way
the
his
second
character
time.
is set up, where it's like, yeah, we fell in love because he loves food, and he's always coming to my house because my dad always makes him stuff. He's like, ooh, this is some good lasagna.
There's truth to that, man. That's how superficial high school relationships are.
Well, that wasn't even high school. They've
have you
been
had that moment where
they've been friends
'cause
since
they're hanging out in high
no,
school.
they've been friends since like the beginning of life. Wasn't
Okay,
it?
grade school in
Yeah.
general. Like, it's funny, isn't it, when you think back on friends like that you just relate on the most basic stuff, but then you get to adulthood and you might still keep in contact every once in a while.
Well, now
but you're
it's not about
exactly close friends. Like, now you've grown into meeting more of the people that are like up. your
now it's about
alley,
what beers
know?
you have in common. Yeah, you're right.
Not just that, no. No, that's different. Coworkers, that's like the version of high school friends. You know, if you just go out and have beers with them, but then you kind of just, your conversations are not really conversations. It's just you venting about bullshit. You know, like, fuck the president, fuck this person I work with, fuck Verizon, fuck AT&T, you
Amazon.
know, you kind of just, yeah.
Fuck the
or
add-on items.
Anything where the world is just treating you unfairly and you're like, that's bullshit, you know?
Well, I do.
Just first world problems.
It may be bullshit, and it's definitely a first world problem, but that is the end of the show, and it's the end of this show. Thanks for being with us, people. It's been a long 2 years. It's been an even longer 100 episodes. Whatever we do next, I hope you're there, and if you're not there for that, hopefully check out Death to Cinema, dollar views, a few dollars more, or if we do fucking penny thoughts, whatever comes back, wherever's made in the future. We hope you're there for the ride. If you're listening to this in the near future and you're like, damn, they got something right, let us know. We'd love the feedback. I'm sure we won't take down our email addresses. If you didn't find us, you can again still. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WordPress, Tumblr. We're on Google Play Music, iTunes Podcast, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube. That's such a long list. Where can they find you, Steve?
You know, even though I don't check it all the time, I do sometimes check steve@DellaReviews.net. I should get better at that at some point in the future, but hey, always on Twitter. Even if I may not actively tweet a lot, I do check it. That's S_MTX. You can check out my film diary on Letterboxd. Same name, same thing.
Same goes for me, Brian Gillis, BrynGillis, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd. I did write a little review for the Robo. Yeah, thanks for being with us.
Did you just put one up?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah, because I looked at your letterbox today and I was like, oh, he hasn't put that up yet. You didn't see Starship Troopers there, did you?
No, we left.
No.
I
No.
saw it. I
Stupid.
saw it in like December, so I didn't necessarily need to watch it again. And we already did the Q&A, and then on top of that, it was already kind of late, and I was hungry. But
Fair
I don't
enough.
know. Like I like Starship Troopers, but it's not a RoboCop. You know?
Yeah, no. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I got to check that out again at some point.
Oh, yeah, it's a
but
good movie.
anyway, yeah, but that's the show. Fitting end on Paul Verhoeven
Of
there.
course, always.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys.
See you around the web.